There's the camera. There's the screen.
There's the camera. There's the screen. There's the chat.
Okay.
And there are you.
Hi, friends.
Hello.
I don't know why I've been given the power. You shouldn't give me the power. I'll put it back here.
Listen, I offered the power and you took the power and now it's too late.
Uh-oh.
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 I feel like we're all wearing like pinks and purple.
We are. Is it Galentine's Day 2.0?
No, it's a Fluffy Bunny Day.
Oh,
that sounds
Fluffy
about
Bunny
right.
Day.
Happy Fluffy Bunny Day if you
Happy
celebrate.
Easter if you
Happy
celebrate.
Easter
Yeah.
if you
Or
mark
long
the
weekend.
occasion.
Yeah.
I personally do not mark the occasion,
Neither
but
do
I
I.
am a sucker for a long weekend, and that's exactly what we've got.
The only way that I mark Easter is by going to the Lindt chocolate store after and buying as many half-price chocolates as I can.
Oh yeah. I do the same thing after Valentine's Day because
Yeah.
I'm a Grinch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a special word for being a Grinch for Valentine's Day specifically?
I don't think so.
I don't want to. No, that's an
No?
intrusive thought. I'm not going to say it out loud.
All right. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Purl Perspectives. Today we have a mega stream. We decided we would go a little bit extra because, like I said, we have a long weekend here in Canada, and so it's a good time to be reckless and stay on the internet longer than we should. And you should also stay on the internet longer than you want to, or than you normally would on a Sunday.
Yeah, because some of us don't have work tomorrow, so
Some of us don't have work.
we can afford to go a little long today.
Just a little.
Yeah. So I'm Anahí, this is Ali, that's
This is
Carine,
Evelyn.
and the tippity tappies that you hear on the back is Bilbo. Trying to decide right now where he should plop down for a nap. It's a difficult decision.
There's so many good spots.
So many good spots.
I mean, there's a bed right there.
His bed is right here.
Your lap is also here.
My lap is here. Your lap is there. We don't know what he's going to choose, but you might see Bilbo today, you might not. If you do,
Stay
I
with us.
believe that's an Easter miracle.
Is he the Easter Bunny?
No.
Oh,
He's
dang.
allergic to chocolate.
That is.
I
I
mean,
guess
yeah, that's
actually
true. All
all
dogs.
dogs and cats should not be
Yeah.
eating chocolate,
Yeah,
so
it's toxic
don't
to-
give your pets mini eggs, Cadbury milk eggs.
But you can give them the occasional carrot.
That's right.
They may not eat them.
They'll eat them. You will eat a carrot,
Yeah.
right, Bilbo?
No, you just walked away.
I love how it sounds like he's patrolling the area, you know, like. It's just.
He's a very good police
Police dog?
man.
Police pug?
Police officer?
Police pug.
Police pup. Police. No.
Puglies?
No, that sounds too much like Paw Patrol.
He is the Paw Patrol.
He is the Paw Patrol.
TM. Trademark.
TM.
Copyright infringement.
Yeah. I thought it would be fun if we started our episode today with a dork.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen this person on TikTok and Instagram doing a dork, which is drinking, outfit, reading, knitting.
Yes.
And so if,
Yeah. I love that.
that'd be fun.
Okay, let's do
I-
it.
And then if you
Love
want to
that.
give us your dork in the chat, I would love to see
Yeah,
what you are
let's-
drinking, wearing, reading, and knitting. Okay, so I'll start. I'm drinking... Oh, excuse me.
Is this a pickle jar?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I'm drinking a hibiscus tea, which I called agua de Jamaica, with dragon fruit and blueberries. And I'm drinking it out of a pickle jar because it's the correct amount.
I was just out grocery shopping yesterday, and I reminded myself as I was walking home, oh, I should have picked up some Jamaica.
Yeah.
And I didn't, so I'll have to go tomorrow and get some. Because
There
I'm
you
all
go.
out as well.
It's really good for you, and it's very refreshing.
Very delicious.
I am wearing Kate Atherley's A Simple Ripped Sock, which I've been calling my Jet Setter socks because
I love
I
those
made
colors.
them when I was traveling.
They went to
colors are
what, like 4 different countries?
Yeah, they've been to 4 different countries, and I also make them out of a Leo and Roxy sock set.
Yeah.
That was part of their...
They had a quarterly club back in, I want to say it was 2021, because I got the same
Yeah,
quarterly club
because
as you
it
did.
was... I remember I got that as a pick-me-up from being on lockdown for so long, and I just wanted to, look forward to something. And so I got a Leo and Roxy sock delivery yearly subscription. So 4 times a year they sent us. Oh, you
I got it
too.
too. You got it, and I was like, I want it too. So I also ordered it. But it was really nice because not only did it come with the sock set, it came with a sticker that was like designed by the dyer to reflect the sock set, and then an enamel pin as well.
And so this colorway came with like a ship called the SSK.
Yeah.
Oh no, the SS Knit. And it was really funny.
It was really cute.
Like the sticker and the pin that they included were like marine kind of sailory vibes.
And they were great.
Very, very on theme. So I love those. That's what I'm wearing. I am currently not reading anything because I have book hangover from Onyx Storm. You both told me.
Yeah,
we both told me. You
we
warned
told you to be prepared.
There were signs. And I ignored them, and I was like, I can read this during the day. I can read this while I work on this spreadsheet at work. No, I can't. Don't do that. You need a sick day.
It's just like
I told her. You are the second person that I told. I was like, from chapter 50 onwards, give yourself the mental and emotional space to do nothing else but finish the book, and then give yourself like a day after to like be emotionally destroyed.
Yeah,
100%.
And both you and my coworker Allison, who I told this exact same piece of advice, were like,
did not heed your advice.
You were right. I should have done that. I'm like,
I should have done that. I should have finished the book on a weekend. I didn't, because it was just, I was too hooked on it, on the story, on the plot.
It's true that it's hard to stop once you start.
I couldn't
third
stop.
book in a series, of course.
So you can't. No, but like you're like
in the
it's
thick
hard
of the
to
action.
plan when you're gonna finish it, right?
Yeah.
But with an audiobook, you know how many hours you have left.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really bad at controlling my impulses. So I kept on listening to Onyx Storm on my audiobook during working hours. Don't tell my employers.
I hope they don't watch this.
I hope they don't watch this. And so I was just emotionally a wreck for a couple of days.
Can
after
confirm,
that.
I was receiving the text messages with her reactions in real time.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
There was several scenes in that really high energy, big montage at the end, towards the end of the book, where there's a lot of like fighting,
climatic action.
Climatic action for sure. And one of them was like a switcheroo, where like you think something's happening and it's not actually happening, but it doesn't. Like the chapter ends, and then you have to like jump onto the other one and be like, oh my god, it didn't actually happen. Whew. And I had to send Ali a voice message cursing Rebecca Yarros to
It
win.
was so funny. I'm in my kitchen cooking dinner for the two of us, mind you. Because hey Bilbo. Because on this was on a Tuesday night, a night where you were teaching.
Yeah.
And we've kind of developed this like habit now where you finish teaching and everybody else in your household's already eaten dinner, and I need to meal prep, so you just come over and eat with me to like encourage me.
Yeah, it's been a couple times. Yeah.
Meal prep, and I'm cooking I'm making a risotto for the two of us, a beautiful risotto, and I just get this distraught message. I was laughing so hard. I sat down on the kitchen floor, like I was laughing hysterically, short of breath. It was so funny.
It was kind of like a F you, Rebecca Yarros, how dare you do this to me.
Don't worry, a lot of people cursed her when they finished pretty much every book so far.
So because of that happened this Tuesday, this Tuesday that just passed, and so I've been on a book hangover since then, and I don't think I'm gonna pick up another book until I'm sure that book is nice and has a nice finish and everyone's happy. And there are absolutely no deaths and
twists and turns
and turns
and
what you
stabbings.
need is a standalone.
Yeah.
What you need is a standalone
standalone.
book.
With
I
an
think
ending.
that's the thing. I need a book that ends because
That's not in a series.
yeah, this is book 3 in a series of 5, and the last 2 books have not been even started
Written yet, yeah.
being written yet. And so now I'm just going to be kind of like, what's the equivalent of literary blue balls?
Welcome to my entire
I'm gonna
life.
have literary blue balls for a couple of years before I can figure out what happens to the characters. And it was really funny because Gerba, who's on the chat, like sent like he saw me really sad and he sent me like the March and Lisa meme that said, "Aw." Are the characters in your book having difficulties? And yes, the characters in my book are having difficulties.
That's putting it mildly.
Really sad.
Putting it mildly.
But also it was great. And I'm knitting the Wolf Bayou tank top. I don't know who the author, I don't remember who the author of this is, and my phone is being used as a camera, so I can't really check. But
what is
it
called?
is the Wolf Bayou tank top.
Bayou, like the
B-A, like the bayou,
Right,
like the
right.
bayou or bayou?
Bayou.
The bayou?
Said with a Louisiana accent because you have to.
Said with the best accent you possibly can muster. I'm not very good at accents, but you can
This
can
guy?
add that on your own. That's the one.
It is by Samantha Stadter.
By Samantha Stapter. Thanks,
Stapter.
Carine. So this is a
It looks pretty
top-down.
good.
Mm-hmm. It's cute.
It is a top-down, worked-in panels tank top, and I am using Lang Fibers linen cotton mix.
It's color changing. That's
It
nice.
is a color fade on its own, and I've got 3 balls of this. So I've gone through the orange, the yellow, and the blue, and now I'm walking into the pinks, and then there's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, another round of blue, then yellow again, orange again.
Nice.
So my plan
yeah.
is to finish the whole ball for one of the panels, and then do the whole ball on the other panel
Right, so they match.
so they match, and then I'm gonna use the third ball to finish in the round and the straps. Thank you, Lexi. I do think it's coming out really nice. I like the increases on the sides. Leave a little bit of a lacy border, which is
They're like little eyelets. It's cute.
They are eyelets. And so anyway, I think this is gonna be a really nice spring or summer kind of
Yeah.
tank top.
That'll be great.
So yeah, what's your dork?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I am drinking in my ever-present reusable cup. This is a pineapple sparkling water, a splash of lemon juice, and then raspberry tea.
Yum.
Yep.
Raspberry tea or raspberry leaf tea?
Raspberry tea.
Oh, so the fruit, not the
Yeah,
leaf.
the fruit, not the leaf. I have heard that raspberry leaf tea is really good for if you have cramps.
Yeah. Or otherwise abdominal pain.
Or otherwise abdominal discomfort. So I may end up investing in a box of that, but I'm not going to go out of my way looking for it.
I gotta tell you, it's not very tasty.
Oh, yeah, no, I know that. You have to put like
it's,
800 million pounds of agave syrup into it to make it drinkable.
Seriously.
And then mix it with like other stuff. But
But
no,
Mother
just
Nature
raspberry.
is not incorrect. So there's that.
So that's my drink. My outfit, I'm wearing my first and only so far ranunculus, which I am now really needing to depill because it's getting fuzzy. That I knit in botanical yarns. I'm blanking on the name of the base, but it's like 90% wool, 10% stellina. So it's got the slightest little shimmer in it, which I really love. And it's the perfect layer in the summertime because it's like a nice open gauge.
And you can't really tell in this on the screen, but there's like a really gentle glittery effect.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
And
very...
if you've
It's very
never,
regal.
I don't know if that's going to show anything.
I don't know, but
But-
if you've never had the chance to squish some of Sophie's
Yarn. Oh my God,
yarn,
it's
like
amazing.
like indie dyed yarns from Botanical Yarns,
Yeah.
highly recommend. Stellina, what's Stellina? Stellina is a metallic fiber, very thin.
It's like a plastic glitter thread.
It's like a glitter thread, exactly.
Yeah. And you only have anywhere between 5 to 10% in a given skein will be the stellina. And it's just spun in with the wool to give you a light shimmer effect.
Yeah.
It's really nice. I have another skein of wool that's like a teal that also has stellina in it. And I'm debating making that into a ranunculus as well because it's like the perfect one skein project to do like a t-shirt one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, highly recommend. And I think Botanical Yarns is
having
in the
a sale.
UK, and they're having a sale.
They're having a
Sophie
sale.
and her mom are having an Easter sale,
Yep.
so go on her Instagram.
And I think if I remember correctly, they were doing a free shipping if you order more than 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Worth of.
Yes,
like
that's
50
right.
pounds is in like unit of currency, not weight.
And they have such beautiful colors.
Oh
Yeah,
my
no,
God.
can you imagine ordering 50 pounds of yarn?
I mean, I can. Would it be
But I
possible? That's a
shouldn't.
difference.
I think Sophie is going to be at Knit City Montreal again this year. I think.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I'm not 100% certain. You know, I have to verify that information. But
would
she
be
has
cool.
been at the last couple of Knit City Montreal, Toronto, Kingston, Calgary. Like, she's been at them.
Yeah.
So, you're welcome, Lexi.
And
Go buy
I
some
know
yarn.
she goes. She also goes to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival.
Rhinebeck.
right?
Yeah, at
Yeah.
Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
She does a lot of international shows, I have to say. I am always so stunned by her commitment to it. I guess part of it, though, is when the majority of your audience and your market is in the States, you kind of have to go where the people are.
Yeah.
Because many
yeah,
people, myself
that's true.
included, am ready to drop mega dollars on yarn, but then I hit the shipping and I'm like,
Suddenly
But that's the
you can't.
thing.
You
When
also
she
have
comes
to-
here, she actually does like
Yeah.
give really good pricing,
Yeah.
and she has really good selections. Like I don't think she ever leaves with yarn left.
no, well, when we did Knit City Montreal the first year, so that would be 2023, right? The yarn on the website is stunning. So when we did Knit City Montreal 2023 and we met her in person and saw her booth for the first time in person, the name of the one that yours is made from, it's got, so this is the ranunculus pattern, and it is the stellina, the base that has stellina with it. So it's the, like, the fingering weight 4-ply. I think it's, like, entirely, actually, you know what? Why don't I just check my Ravelry?
Why don't
There we
you?
go.
Because I am nothing if not perpetually writing shit down.
Somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to write everything down.
It will not be me.
Documentarian, I love it. It's funny. I'm currently doing a test knit right now, and so it's the botanical yarn 4-ply superwash tinsel base.
Tinsel.
And this is the periwinkle tinsel, which I think is an odd name for this color, but
Right? I would put regal. Like this is literally giving me like I'm a freaking queen and I know it kind of color.
I am.
Also,
No.
just because you reminded me, a fun fact about me is that I've decided if I ever become an elf at the North Pole,
Yeah.
working with Santa Claus, my elf name would be Tinsel Tits.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And
That
I
could
feel
also
like
be a
okay,
everybody
what,
needs
though?
to know that.
This is a great drag show.
or
Drag
burlesque
name, sorry.
name.
Or burlesque
So one
name.
of
Correct.
one of my friends does burlesque, is a burlesque performer, and she makes the most beautiful pasties.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so maybe what I should do is get her to show us how to make pasties, and that you can have some that have tinsel in it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that would be so funny.
yeah. And then it'll be a Christmas special. Just 'cause it's work. Anyway, sorry. The base is called Tinsel.
Tinsel, yeah.
Not Tinsel Tits. That's my.
That's you.
That's my burlesque name.
I'm gonna do reading last because she long. So what I'm knitting is, so this is the very, very, very beginnings of the Calla crop top by
Yes. Oh, I love that
Beautiful.
stitch.
Pippin Pin. I want to say that's Megan Nodecker. I'm pretty sure it's Megan Nodecker. Pippin Pin is the business name. That's the Instagram account, that's the handle, everything like that.
Pippin, like the
What's
Lord
the
of the
name of
Rings.
this?
Pip and Pim.
Okay.
Pin. This is the Calla, Kala. This is fantastic. This is being knit up in lace weight tencel held double. This is my favorite summer yarn, is tencel yarn. And
Highly recommend.
Calla.
Kala with 2 L's.
No, it's one L.
Is 1
Top.
L?
It's, I think it might be crop top.
Oh, maybe.
I thought it was
T.
Kala
There
like
we go.
Kala
Yeah,
Lily.
okay, it is Megan Nodecker. And so it's really nice because you have this like lace panel at the top.
You're correct,
And then the
Pip and
rest of the body is stockinette. So I've just finished the lace on the front, and now I have just about 3 inches of stockinette to go before I pick up the back panel and then knit the lace and then knit the stockinette and join in the round. So that's the first thing I'll be working on today, is getting the stockinette for the front panel. My gauge is way off, so I have absolutely no idea what size this will be
Off
when
like
it's done.
bigger or smaller?
Oh, bigger.
Uh-oh.
We'll see what happens.
I
We'll
mean,
see what happens.
I'm never
okay,
mad
no.
at like a loose fitting top.
But my row gauge, I have more rows than the pattern calls for in 4 inches. But my stitch gauge I have fewer stitches per inch than the pattern. And I have no idea how I managed to do that. I can only guess that because it's Tencel and I'm using metal needles, it is very slippy and slidey. So I'm like, I guess I'm probably exaggerating my stitches. I don't know.
Could be.
But yeah.
Maybe you're pulling on them like height-wise.
Could be.
A little bit more.
Could be. I started this when we were on our sun trip in February. When we flew home, I put it down and I haven't picked it up since. And I picked it up 2 days ago because I was like, I really want to wear this to Knit City Montreal, this shirt. So I have a long way to go.
But
so
isn't that next month?
Yeah, it's May 17th.
Girl. I believe in you. You can do it.
You know what? I have to say, I have been doing this thing since the start of the year where I have been kind of...
Giving yourself mini challenges?
Not necessarily mini challenges, but focusing on, like, specific patterns at a time. So like, I have this whole big pile of whips from, like, a long time ago. And I'm just kind of picking up one, and I'm working on it through till it's done. And then I'm picking up something else. So I'll have, like a pair of socks, and I'll have, like, a main project. And then I work on that whole thing, and then after that, then I pick up a new main project, right? And then when my one pair of socks is done, then I pick up something else to be my travel project. Like, I'm trying to...
So it's monogamous knitting, but in a polyamory relationship? Because you still have other, like...
Well, no, like, I've got all the whips sitting and waiting. Like, they're not actively being worked on. I'm just...
It's more like a doctor's office queue.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to make progress because I was sitting there and I was getting frustrated with myself because I had... like one FO, at the beginning of February, and then I had nothing. And then I was like, well, the reason I have nothing is because I'm not focusing on anything. And so now I've been sitting down and kind of like focusing, and it's actually been really nice, right? So
yeah. I've seen you get really excited for FOs lately. And
well,
I love
speaking
that.
of, before I do my reading,
Oh.
you guys,
Oh,
which
yes.
you haven't seen either.
Get ready.
Okay.
There's
The
an
first
FO.
time- Okay, close your eyes.
Okay.
You two close your eyes. Audience can also close your eyes. That's totally cool.
I'll close my eyes like the monster in Pan's Lab.
Ooh, I just smacked Carine in the
You
face.
need me to hold something?
All right, open your eyes.
Whoa!
It looks so good! Wait, a little bit. Look at that!
It's massive.
It's
Oh my
humongous.
God.
It's so sad.
So it was comical when I bound it off. I was like, okay, that's not too big. That's not too bad. And then I blocked it, and it doubled in size.
It doesn't fit in the camera.
It's huge, yeah.
The
so
span of the camera. That is so good, bro.
Thank
looks
you.
so nice.
I brought it to Knit Night on Thursday, and I wove in all
It
the
is
ends. And then when I
so
was done,
precious.
I was like, okay, everybody, look at me. And everyone's like, really? And I went and I did, and I went whoosh to like unroll it to show everybody. And everybody was like, oh dang, that does look great. And I was like, right?
Hey, like, of course you want,
I wanted the
like,
validation.
exactly, you want people to get excited too. 'Cause
Hot
it's
diggity.
so nice.
This is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
Just as a to say it again, because this is probably one of the last times you'll see it for a while, this is the Aramophila shawl by Amba O'Brien. That's an Australian designer.
Aramophila.
Yeah, it's the Latin name for the emu bush.
Oh!
Yes, exactly. Witness me. That's what I was going for.
That's because
And
it looks
so-
like a peacock, and I can see it.
Yeah.
So I was
how
actually-
many skeins did it...
So there's 19 colors here because I was using up the leftovers of an advent.
Oh.
And so what
so
I
like
did-
each of these is like a
One
Yeah,
different...
mini
yeah,
skein.
exactly. So if you watched me weave in all the ends, you would have been like, yeah, that's
That's
too many.
a lot of ends.
But I
You
was
did an amazing job at weaving in your ends.
Yeah.
I see
you.
not even
Yeah.
a single strand anywhere. Impressive.
I was really
Impressive.
like wanting to do it right. And I'm glad that it is. And I'm very excited to wear this around the house in the fall.
Well done.
Yeah. I don't think normally I have a shawl and I wrap it around my neck like a big scarf. This is too big.
This might
So I
be a
think this
little...
will be like an actual wear on my body shawl.
Like a...
So yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
abuelita style.
Abuelita style. That is
Or I guess in my
real
culture,
nice.
nunni style. It's like a
Nunni
chunni.
style.
It's like a chunni. So
What is a chunni?
it's like, you know when you see like an Indian woman and she's got like a big long rectangular shawl and she's like wrapped it around and throw it over. Like a
Oh,
chunni is
yeah,
like
yeah.
the big long rectangular shawl that women will wear like over their head or like just wrapped around their shoulders. Yeah.
So like a shorter sari.
So a sari is a garment. A chunni is an
like
accessory.
Got it.
Yeah.
I love this.
So yeah, that's my FO. Not to jump ahead.
It is so beautiful.
It
even looks good on the back side because it's garter stitch, right?
It took me 2 months to knit this, and I was knitting pretty much just this. I mean, I had a pair of socks that I took as my travel knitting because, like, I can't really bring something this big on the train. That doesn't really work when I'm commuting to work every morning. But yeah, this was my at-home. It
packs up really small too, which is
knit.
really impressive.
It's a little shawl burrito.
It's a little shawl burrito, shawlito.
My baby, my baby.
Burrito.
Yeah. So
you can never say that you don't have a color palette because it's
seriously.
I'm really proud of it because one, I had made the pattern before and I loved it, and I actually gifted that first version to my cousin, and like literally pulled it off of my neck at dinner and was like, "Here, you have it." And so I've been wanting to make this one for over 2 years, this like second version, and use up the rest of the advent. And I'm really proud that I finally sat down and did it, used up all the yarn. I think this was like 260 grams of yarn.
Oh my god.
And I did an extra repeat of the chart. The pattern only calls for 2 repeats. I did a third one, which is why it's so big. But I
think that was the correct
worth
choice.
it in my opinion.
And you
love
had
the
no
color
yarn
fade.
no yarn left over?
I actually, this dark blue at the very end is not from the advent calendar. It's another scrap ball that I had in my stash.
Wow.
Because it was like the final 5 rows in the I-cord. And I was like, okay.
And do I remember correctly that you did the I-cord bind off with an I-cord?
Yeah,
dual?
the cordsmith. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cordsmith.
Do you guys know what a cordsmith is? Chat? Do you guys know?
It's,
I don't have mine with me.
I have.
Do you have yours with you?
I'm not
So
sure.
cordsmith is a little tool. Essentially, it's 3 latch hooks put together with a handle. Mm-hmm. And it was designed by this person that runs the Size Inclusive Collective.
Eden Goodman.
Uh-huh.
Is the designer behind, or is the creator behind
the Cordsmith,
but also the Size Inclusive Collective.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it from here.
Yeah, there you go.
This is what it looks like.
Oh, Tony from TL Yarn Club reviewed one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So basically, it's the 3 latchets come together so that you can create I-cord with a similar kind of flicking motion to crochet.
Yeah.
And then that way you're not constantly having to slide the stitches back across the needle.
And I thought it was really smart that you used it for an applied I-cord edge.
It wasn't applied. I had all the live stitches, but I was picking up. So like every time I'd do one, when I'd go back, I'd pick up the next stitch.
Oh,
so I was
okay.
like
So it wasn't new stitches.
Yeah, I was like decreasing by one.
That is such a time saver, honestly.
Yeah. And Autumn has created the Cordsmith in 3 sizes.
Yeah.
There's like
lace.
There's like a lace weight one, like a fingering DK weight one, and then like a worsted weight one. And it's great. Honestly, I've used it a lot. It was definitely worth the investment, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I got one too because they released some here with a Lelen Biscuit, which is a Quebec yarn brand, and they had official Cordsmith with the logo of the yarn store. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I invested in one there, and I really like it.
Mine's from Barretricot.
Yeah, me too.
It's pink. The handle is pink.
Yeah, same.
Do you believe I've never gotten any yarn from Barretricot yet?
They have great
Barretricot
selection.
is it's a yarn shop. Well, is it a shop?
Yeah.
I don't think they have a
I don't think it's a shop per se.
It's a brand. It's a brand of hand-dyed yarn.
But they do show up at festivals and stuff.
They do a lot of shows, and so they
it is a shop.
It's a shop, okay.
But I think it's an online shop.
Okay.
I don't know if they have a physical.
And they're in Quebec, which is why it's called Barretricot.
Yeah. Which means knitting in French.
Tricot is knitting,
Tricot, yeah.
And it's really fun because since they're a bar, a knitting bar, all of their bases are called some sort of drink.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
bought
really
the champagne one.
Champagne was really cool.
That
was
was
really
soft.
sweet.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
And they have really funky, bright colors. So, yeah.
It's like electric blues and super vibrant peaches and
neon
neon yellows.
I don't know why I haven't, jumped the gun yet with getting something from Baratricot, but maybe next time I see them on a festival, I will. Yeah, it really do fits the kind of style of funky colors that I like.
Okay.
Should we do your reading?
Yes.
Okay.
My reading.
So we did the doke, and then we need the
So I am a person that prioritizes reading over
other stuff.
a lot of other things in my life. So I tend to read a lot, and I tend to get through books quickly. But again, that's because I prioritize it. I devote more time each day to it than, say, somebody else. So currently, I am reading a book called The Wicked King by Holly Black. It is the second book in the... Oh my god, what was the first one called? I literally just finished it. It's the Elfheim series. And oh my god. Why am I... The fourth one is called the...
Don't you have your storyboard?
I do have Storygraph right here. Shit, I literally just finished... Anyway.
The Folk of Air.
The Folk of Air series. Yes, thank you. Is the series. The Wicked King is the second one in the series. It's...
The Witch King of Angmar?
No, it's The Cruel Prince. There we go. That's the name of the
Oh,
first
that
one.
thing. Yeah, okay.
The third one
this.
is called The Queen of Nothing. And I just started it. I'm not very far into it. It's great. I love it. So I'm definitely more of a person who's into like fantasy, world building.
Yeah.
Escapist literature. That's my niche.
Okay.
I did just yesterday finish a nonfiction book called... I'll pull it up because I want to give the correct name. It was by Angela Chen, and it was called... I want to say it was called Ace. Oh my god, I'm fully blanking on it. Okay, here's my journal. Let's pull up the journal. Yes, Ace. What asexuality reveals about desire, society, and the meaning of sex. As an asexual person myself, I've had this one in my like on hold at the library
in your TBR
queue for a long
while.
time, and honestly, I loved it. It was so good because not only is it like really validating to sit there and have an academic be like, these are things that happen to people, and be like, I experience those things.
I'm people.
Like, I'm people, yeah. Like, not only is it really validating, but it also comes from a place of, like, the author themselves is asexual, and is, like, the gamut of experience runs to all of these different things, and this is what it's like. Like, they interviewed so many different people, and they were like, this is what it could be like for one person, this is what it could be like for another, and then they have different... So the different chapters correspond to, like, different experiences people have had, so, like... There's a chapter about being, like, in relationships and, like, how that can be, like, the dynamics of being in a relationship when both people are asexual, or maybe one person's asexual and the other person's not. Then there's a chapter at the beginning that's all about, like, people realizing that they're ace and, like, what that means and how they discovered it and et cetera, et cetera. And anyway, it was just a really, really good book.
That's so interesting. Is it written like an essay or more like individual stories?
It's definitely more like an essay.
Okay.
It is nonfiction. The audiobook is only 7.5 hours. That was what came in first, the audiobook versus the ebook, so that's what I listened to. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Like, if you yourself are ace and just want to learn more about what that means, or if you have somebody in your life who is ace and you want to learn more about that, what that means. Yeah. I would definitely recommend it. Or if you're just, like, wanting to broaden your knowledge base. Yeah. Definitely recommend it nonetheless. Ace by Angela Chen. And I think it only just came out, like, 2 or 3 years ago, so it's very much more, like, I don't want to say up to date, but up to date, I suppose you could say. Which was really great.
I love that there's literature coming out of it from, like, a scientific, like, background, because we know it's not... It like, you know, sexuality is mostly socially constructed, you know? But I like that there's people out there who are studying the effects of this and how, you know, like, relationships are affected by the presence of these differences. I like that. It honestly, representation.
The fact that the author themselves is a gender and sexuality studies... I can't remember if they're a professor or if they're just a researcher, but either way, like, this is their area of expertise. To say nothing about the fact that it's also their lived experience is really nice, because, you know, it to go back to that tried and true adage of nothing about us without us, like, it is really good to have something in the mainstream literature canon that's written by somebody from their own point of experience.
It's important to have someone
It's in
with...
own voices, but it's
Exactly.
nonfiction, but it is own voices, which is nice.
Yeah,
So.
lived experience is so important. Yeah.
Exactly.
But also, we interrupt this program to congratulate Lexi for finally getting engaged.
Yes!
Yay! Well done, Lexi!
Woo!
Make that jumper!
Good job.
Good job.
job.
Also, good job actually attempting to get engaged. I would have just,
Yeah.
started making the freaking thing.
Yeah.
And then probably it wouldn't have fit, but I would have lived with my choices.
No, they and I had a good chat in we were messaging back and forth about this earlier in the week. What did you end up having to do, Lexi? Did you end up doing the math and going with a different size, or did you end up changing up your hooks to get the right gauge? Like, what was your decision at the end of the day? Or I guess what worked now with this 7 and 10.
Oh,
Bilbo.
sir. Yep,
jump.
your butt's right on the screen. Right on the screen.
But it's very
It's
strategically
being
covered.
kind of covered by the...
covered by the logo. Okay.
What a
Okay.
cutie patootie.
That's a cutie patootie.
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew.
I did start making it, connected the neckline, and it literally didn't get over my head, so
Oh, that sucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
happens.
that was-
Happens. Like, this is definitely going to be way too big, but I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you just gotta power
I'm
through.
not stopping.
you just it's just going to be a stylistic choice, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
there you
all.
go.
That's all.
I always tell my students it's not a mistake if you call it a design choice.
Yeah, if you choose to keep going.
If you like it, it's
a
not a
choice.
mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's me, my reading. I have a perpetual queue of books on the go. I'm probably also going to start Murtagh, the latest book by Christopher Paolini soon.
What is that one about?
Which is... So does anybody here remember Aragon?
Yeah,
Yes.
the books are right up there.
Oh, truly, they are.
Except they're in Spanish.
Beautiful. Well, those books came out when I was a wee lassie. And the author and I are, like, probably only a couple of years apart in age. So, like, as he's grown up, I've grown up, which has been kind of
Aw.
cool. And so he released a new book, I want to say it came out last year. And it's the perspective of one of the characters who, like, was a good guy, became a villain, then went back to being a good guy in the original series, whose name is Murtagh. And I have wanted to read this book for so long, but it's like, I mean, if you've ever seen a Christopher Paolini book, they're freaking door stoppers. They're tomes, right? Like, you're looking at easily like 1,000+ pages. And so I've just been like, okay, well, I need to, like, sit down and start it. And so it just came in from the library. Even though I'm reading another book, doesn't matter. I'm gonna start it, and then
Listen, when the library call, you answers.
Yeah.
When
Well,
the library calls, you answer.
Ironically enough, I got an email yesterday being like, "Oh, your hold's come in," and a physical book I had on hold at the library
Woohoo.
arrived. So I was like, "Guess I gotta go get
them
that
up.
one too." So now I have 3 library books that I have to read in the next 21 days.
Whoop! That's a lot of pressure.
Nah, not really. For me, at least, I will, put down other things. It'll be reading 3 library books and then finishing this shirt. That will be the pressure.
Yeah. Really, the difficulty is amped up. But
Yeah, but otherwise, no. I mean, I read like a good 40 to 50 pages a night, or like a day, easy, just in like my transit time, my commute. If I want to add extra time, like when I get home reading or before bed,
Yeah.
I can easily tuck 150 pages away in a book
oh,
a day. So, I'm not...
you're gonna breeze through it then.
Yeah. I like reading. Reading brings me a lot of joy.
You are such a reader.
I
A reader for sure. I'm an occasional reader, although lately I've been really into audiobooks.
They're great. And graphic audiobooks?
Yeah, graphic audiobooks. Oh my god. I read The Second Iron Flame with the graphic audiobook, and it was so good. It's kind of just like the whole movie, because you hear the explosions and the roaring of the dragons, and it's a full cast, so there's a specific voice for each of the characters, which makes it so much easier to follow than like the same person making the voices, at least for me. Anyway, I love it. And then I also get to do something else with my hands at the same time, which is usually the reason why reading is often understimulating for me because I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So
I'm the
audiobooks are a perfect accommodation if you, like me, have the ADHD. Carine, what's your dork drink, outfit, reading, knitting?
So my drink is the same as Anahí's because she made it.
Yeah.
So hibiscus tea with frozen, well, no longer frozen, but at the beginning, frozen blueberries. Mm-hmm. And it's delicious. What's the next one? Outfit. Oh, so this is the rocket tea. This is the second one. I finished it this morning. I weaved in the end.
Pretty.
This morning.
So good.
That color suits you so well.
Thank you. This is actually yarn that Anahí gave away.
I wasn't feeling it, so
Yeah, no, it looks
put it in the pile.
really nice. It actually came out neater than the first one I made, so it's like it fits better. I feel
nice.
Well, you learned lessons and then subliminally applied them in this time.
Yeah.
Like and then I also used the cordsmith to bind off, like, because everything is I-cord all around.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna.
The I-cord edges are so neat.
I'm just gonna put it out there.
So polished.
Took me at least how many attempts at, like, because it was my first time using that.
Yeah.
The cordsmith, and I wanted to throw it across,
really.
I wanted to throw it across I didn't have the muscle memory to, like, and with tencel, it was so slippery and so hard.
It's 2 strands
and it's 2 strands. Yeah. Oh, it was a nightmare. And
definitely try it on wool if you're trying out a cordsmith.
It was not a fun experience the beginning, and then the second I got it,
you were flying.
It was like everything was done. So, like,
so the learning curve was hard.
The learning curve was hard. There was actually a moment where I thought, okay, I'm just gonna do it the traditional way and screw it. And then I was like, no, I want to actually learn how to do it. And to be fair, if there's any advice I can give, if there's a new technique you want to learn, whatever it is, like, let's say using a cordsmith, go for a project that has a lot of it in it.
Yeah.
Because
the bottom of the
your muscle memory will, like, you will never
kick
forget afterwards.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a bigger project too. So it kind of works out. Oh, thank you. Technically she chose it. I just like the colors, and I was like, oh, that looks nice. I'll take it.
You chose it too when you picked it up off the table.
That's true. But yeah, so definitely go for it. It was kind of weird because it was a combination of picking up live stitches and finding them not, because these were live stitches, but this one, but not this. I had to, like,
pick up the edges.
Yeah, so this one is not as neat as these guys are.
Did you pick it up with the cordsmith, or did you pick them up on a
with
needle
the cord
first?
Well, no, on the needle first and then on the cordsmith. Yeah. So no, it was definitely a learning experience, but I enjoyed it.
Nice.
After cursing,
I gotta make myself another one of those.
After cursing a little bit.
Yeah, I know, right? Well,
after cursing.
Speaking of Rocketees, not to interrupt your dork too long, but you have this set.
I do.
And I have a similar sized set. They're slightly different
colors.
colors.
This would be perfect.
And the thing is, I bought this set. So this is Tencel yarn from Trailhead Co., who no longer dyes sweater quantities worth of Tencel.
Excuse me, motorcycle on the outside. That's so rude. Sorry.
So this is a company. The owner's name is Sam. She transitioned from dyeing garment quantities to just
plant-based yarns.
Yeah.
Including this beautiful Tencel.
But now only does embroidery thread. It's
base.
still Tencel, but she'll only sell it in small quantities. So you can no longer get them in these large quantities, which is unfortunate. I live in hope that one day that changes.
Yeah,
but until then, I will enjoy the garments that I have and the remaining yarn I have. And I bought a set just like this it was at Twist last year.
It was a Twist festival in Saint-Evelyn.
Saint-André-d'Avelin,
right.
Yeah.
Saint-André-d'Avelin, Quebec.
My plan was to start at the top and fade through the colors. And I have a whole bunch of yellow left over from another top that I made. And I was going to end with the yellow and have it be like blues to greens to yellows and then finish with the yellow. Because that was the set that I bought. And I just think it'd be so much fun.
I think so. I think it would look great. Yeah.
Does anyone know how to do the inflections on letters on a keyboard?
If you have an Apple computer, you can press and hold the key, and it should pop up on your screen with the ones. I don't know how it works for non-Apple though.
If you do it on mobile, I know I press and hold the letter. But if you, usually if I'm on Word and I have a non-Apple computer, like what's the non-Apple computer? A Microsoft computer. Mm-hmm. I do Alt 161 for the I with inflection at the end of my name, and Alt 162 for the O with the accent for my last name. So it should be around the 160s.
Yeah, but I do know that depending on what keyboard language you have, so like if you flop over to Canadian French, instead of having the punctuation marks, those buttons will then be used as all the accents.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I have.
That's what you have for French?
Yeah, it just takes some getting used to, but that's just a keyboard setting that you should be able to find in your computer's like general settings.
Yeah.
So originally I had bought this mini set to make another one of the ones that you have, the Rocket Tea, but now I'm not sure that I want a second Rocket Tea because I really like the one that I have. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. So maybe I'll do something else also with stripes, but I just thought that these would really pop if I mix it with the white one.
What about a striped Tolsta?
Ooh, that would be so fun actually.
I mean, really, you can make any fingering weight garment out of pencil. Yeah. So you can also just like look up.
You're working with pencil right now?
I am. I'm doing the exact same thing. It's the same base. I'm pulling from the inside and the outside so that it's double.
Yeah.
You can't really see that because it's lace weight.
It's so small.
But it works up to be the equivalent of fingering weight.
Yeah, look at light fingering.
Yeah, but it does come out like really drapey because the tencel is made of extruded cellulose. What's a Tolsta? I'm so glad you asked.
Well, let me tell you. The Tolsta is a multi...
hey, you got it, Lexi.
A multi-face... what is it called? Like a multi-view pattern from Rebecca Clow. And Rebecca names her patterns...
After locations
in Scotland or beaches, I think.
So the Tolsta is named after a beach.
The Tolsta is named after a beach, and it is a raglan simple t-shirt that you can make short sleeve, quarter, three-quarter, or long. And she gives you the base pattern, which is very well fitting. For me specifically, I loved when I made one because the neck is quite wide, which very nicely sits on my angled shoulders, my sloped shoulders, and she gives you an extra handout for possible modifications, and one of those modifications is doing it in stripes, and another one is doing it with eyelets. There you go, she's on Ravelry for sure. And so the Tolsta tee would be an excellent option for this mix of plant-based yarn because it would really drape nicely.
It also comes in 2 different weights, so you can get it in a fingering 4-ply or you can get it in a DK weight.
This?
The Tolsta tee.
Oh, the Tolsta tee, yes.
And then I think last year she came out with the Tolsta tank version, which has 3 different neck shapings.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, and if you prefer a V-neck, that's the one that you want to go for because the V-neck in the Tolsta is really, really nice. But really what I liked about the Tolsta was the ratio of the raglan increases because I don't know how she does it, but it really, really fit my specific arm shape really, really nicely.
Same. I love mine.
Yeah, I did the DK, you did a fingering.
I did a fingering weight.
Have you made a Tolsta yet? Highly recommend. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, it had stepped raglan increases until either just before or just after the sleeve separation.
Yeah, and then it had like a really
ones. Steep, really rapid ones. So you end up with, it's like you have the raglan at the top of it, the shaping is like this, but then at the bottom it kind of curves more down. So it really does like fit the body and doesn't create excess fabric under the arm, which I find can be the case with, like, so this was a round yoke sweater where the increases are done evenly all the way around the pattern as you do it, which means that for some people like myself, I end up with all this extra fabric right underneath.
Wait, did you not get to the part where you do some raglan increases here?
Probably, but either way, because of the shape of the circular yoke and because of the shape of my shoulders and neck,
right,
I find regardless of whether additional raglan shaping is added, I still end up with excess fabric. This one's not as much. Like I have a sweater that is entirely round yoke, no raglan, and it's like comical how much it like bubbles up in the front. But yeah,
I loved it.
It's great. It's great. I have yarn to make like 3 more.
I might actually I'm looking at yours and I want to make another ranunculus. I already have 2. But the first one I'm kind of outgrowing.
Look, when it's good, it's good, you know?
I know.
Do it.
I really want to either fix that one or make a different one. Maybe with some Tamso. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. Okay.
Also, as we were talking, I did an entire row incorrectly, so now I'm having to like undo each stitch and then knit it again in the correct way because I did a round of knits when I needed a round of purls and it looks dumb.
No, it's a stylistic choice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you know the back from the front. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
So to carry on with your dork, Carine, what are you reading? What are you knitting?
Right now I'm knitting the Astrid sweater. It's just literally knitting in
Oh
the
my
round
god,
right
look
now.
at the edge.
So yeah, right?
What?
Cool.
How do you do that? Is this short rows?
Yep.
Wow.
And then you pick up along the edge of the ribbing.
It's so cute.
To join in the
It looks like a little flower petal around your butt.
It's really good.
It's so cute.
Yeah, it's very I hope it looks good when I'm finished, but yes. So far so good.
It looks gorgeous.
And it's from Knitting for Olive. So
the yarn is Knitting for Olive?
Well, both the yarn and the pattern.
It's so pretty.
But yeah, no, I really like the so far, and now I'm at the stockinette part of the thing, so I don't have to think.
Oh, so you're flying.
I'm pretty much just
I love that.
Yeah.
How is this made? Oh, you picked up on the
Yeah.
edge.
So essentially, you
you make a rib.
Yeah. So you start with the rib, and then when you get to here, you start doing short rows, and it kind of like pulls it in, I guess.
Oh, that's so genius.
Yeah. So it looks fancy, but it's not complicated at all.
I
It's
love that
really
idea. I never would have thought to do that. And it gives
really
it a
smart.
really nice rounded split hem.
Yeah.
I
It's
love
gonna
me a
block
split
out
hem.
So
I don't know about
nicely.
y'all.
I do too.
You do? Mm-hmm.
I find a split hem fits better on my body because as a pear-shaped human,
You need to accommodate for the bottom of the pear.
Exactly. So
Honestly,
if
I feel like it looks
cinches awkwardly.
it feels better for most. Like I noticed for me, it makes me like when I walk, it's more freely. Like it,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
and when
doesn't
you
bunch.
sit, it doesn't bunch up.
Yeah, it doesn't bunch
Or
up.
ride
It's
out,
much.
yeah.
It's much better, in my opinion.
So nice.
But yeah, so that's what I'm working on. As for what I'm reading,
You brought some
Oh,
books.
you brought some.
So actually I brought it because I was gonna tell you if you have a book hangover and you wanted something that has a happy ending.
Yes, I do,
And that's
please.
adorable.
Aw.
I really recommend this. I can't stress enough how good this book is so far. I'm halfway through and I want to like scream.
Discover
So
a magical place of endless possibilities.
so let's put it this way: if you know Studio Ghibli movies,
Which I do.
this is what this is, but in a book format. So the author is Korean, so this is a translation version. Without giving too much away, I can tell you the back. So on the outskirts of Rainbow Town, there is an old abandoned house. They say that if you send a letter detailing your misfortunes there, you could receive a ticket. If you bring this ticket to the house on the first day of the rainy season, you'll be granted entrance into the mysterious Rainfall market, where you can choose to completely change your life.
What?
No one is more surprised than Xiran when she receives a ticket. Lonely and with no real prospects for her future, Xiran ventures into the market, determined to create a better life for herself. There she meets a magical cat companion named Isha, and they search through bookstores, perfumeries, and fantastical realms while Xiran tries to determine what her perfect life will look like. The catch? Xiran has only 1 week to find happiness, or she'll be doomed to vanish into the market forever.
Oh my god.
And all the while, a shadow follows quietly behind
I
them.
feel like she should
my
have read the
God.
small print on that
It's
ticket.
so freaking adorable. Like I can't. This is only. It's very short. It's 200 pages. It's.
Have you finished it or are you still
I'm
reading
halfway
it?
through. I already know it's a happy ending. I don't know what the ending is. I just know it's happy. But
Yeah.
it's literally like I'm not kidding. I was trying to find books that had Studio Ghibli vibes.
Yeah.
And this was one of the first ones that popped up, and I was like, I just love the cover so much.
It's so
I said,
cool.
okay, it's a standalone.
Adding to the TBR.
Like it's very short. It's very simply written. It's beautifully translated.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't read Korean, but so it's
Not
it's
yet,
just
you can't.
yeah, one day. But I highly recommend it for a book hangover because it's literally just. Like, so far, that's all I'm doing. I'm visiting the market. We're going through... And then at the beginning, they even have all the characters.
Oh, I
and
love
they have, like, little pictures of all the characters, like the main characters, are gonna see with the description of who
my
they are, what
God.
they do. Like, this is beautiful.
That's so, can I borrow when you
100% you can.
Love that.
This is like, yeah, so far
I
I kind of went on a bit of a like spree of like that kind of like style of books. And then the other one that I really want to start reading, oh god, Six Cranes. Is it what is it called? Six Cranes?
Like paper cranes?
No,
Dusk,
no.
don't worry about your 6 Libby
There we go.
holds. If it makes you feel better, I have 23 books on Libby right now.
You can always delay one.
And my TBR, my physical TBR has over 200 books like on my bookshelf. So do not feel bad about having 6 books
don't
on
I
Libby.
know
I'm notorious for buying the books and not reading them right away. So right now I have about 16 that I bought in the last.
But the
3
joy
months?
from buying a book is completely separate
Is it?
from the
Yes,
joy
100%.
of reading a book.
It's the same when you're like, oh, I bought yarn and I knit with yarn. 2 separate hobbies.
Two separate hobbies.
Exactly. So I'm as much as I want to read, like pick the books at the library, sometimes it works, but the second I see that there's a hole that's more than like a few days, I just get tired and I go to the bookstore and I get it. So the other one that I really want to read is called Six Crimson Cranes.
Oh, I've heard about this one.
And the reason I'm freaking out over this one, and I really want to read it, first of all, it's 2 books so far.
23.
Is because this story is based on a classic, which is the Swan Princes, or the Wild Swans, I think they're called. So it's a story of this, without giving too much away, the classic, not the book, but the classic is this princess and her brothers who have an evil stepmother who's kind of a witch thing. And she curses the brothers to become cranes or swans in the case of the classical story. And the princess has to knit each brother a sweater.
Sold.
And I grew up with this story.
Sold.
The movie was at Ciné Cadeau every year on Télé-Québec. So this is French Canadian, and I was obsessed with. This is probably why I started knitting subconsciously. So literally, she has to knit a sweater for each of her brothers. She has 7 brothers, and if she talks. If she utters, not just talks, she cannot utter a sound. If she says one, if she talks, if she says, if one sound comes out of her mouth, they die. Like, the brothers die.
Sneeze?
It doesn't matter. Like, she can't sneeze. So essentially, it takes a while for her to get through the thing. And it's a happy ending, of course, because it's a fairy tale style. So the author of the Six Crimson Cranes kind of like went with this story and got inspired by it and then wrote their own thing. It sounds a lot more like fantasy realm for adult, the one that I want to buy, or that I bought, that I want to read. But I realized that I'm kind of like into this like niche, like they started with a classical story or a historical event, and then they created a story with it. Because the other one I really want to read is Iron Widow.
Yes,
not only is she from wait. Not only is she from a Canadian author, this was actually taking off the bestseller.
So that's the second book.
No, the first one.
Yeah, but the Iron Widow is the second one in the series.
Is it the second one? I thought it was the first one.
What's
no,
the
I think
first
the first
one?
Isn't it Heavenly Tyrant or something like that? So I have them. I have the first one as well. So good. I haven't read it yet, but I want to.
So, let's see. No, it's the first one is Iron Widow.
It is, okay.
So
I want to read a couple more Canadian
So this is from,
books.
I'm going to butcher this, but Xiran J. Zhao.
Xiran J. Zhao.
And
Xiran J. Zhao.
what really got to me is the fact that this book, not only... this book was taken off the New York Times bestseller because it was too Canadian for them. Because every single part of the publishing was done in Canada. There is nothing that U.S. touched with this book. It's literally 100% Canadian made. So it couldn't technically qualify.
It wasn't New York enough for the New York Times.
It didn't qualify as an American.
Also,
book,
it probably doesn't help that the author is really outspoken, like against human rights abuses that have taken place in not just China but in other parts of the world, and so has been like shadow banned on.
But this whole
Instagram and stuff.
So this whole story,
really,
this whole story is based
really
on the one empress of China that ever existed and her story. So she took this part of history and then she created this whole story that just looks mind-blowing. So that's another book that is in my reading pile.
I love historical fiction.
So it's
excuse you,
oh buddy, what's happening?
Sorry, friends.
Yes,
there was
we
a
will.
skateboard.
We will put all the names of the books in the show notes
worry.
for sure.
I do just want to take a second. There was a comment that was made earlier about feeling like they don't read enough, and I just want to take a second and say, please don't ever feel like that. Like, I mean, dog censorship, Gerbo, oh my god. I had this conversation with a couple of coworkers recently.
With me, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I had this conversation with a couple of coworkers earlier in the month, and I was talking about, like, a whole bunch of books that I had read, and one of them went, ugh, well, you're an expert reader, so no wonder you get so many books read. And it kind of made me feel some type of way about how
Other people.
Well, no, but how we can sometimes gatekeep ourselves from being able to enjoy things because we're comparing ourselves to others, right? Like I've been seeing a lot recently in the knitting and crocheting world on Instagram about people who are like, well, these people knit too fast and therefore like you should slow down.
I saw this.
Right, all of that. And that's a whole other kind of thing.
Okay, I didn't even know about that.
Bilbo's getting riled up about gatekeeping.
There was a skateboard, and that's unacceptable.
He needs to protect his turf, guys.
Also, is that not the most adorable bark?
It's like a slow growl.
But yes, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, just like it. Everybody does things in different paces. And what the heck are you doing, sir? He's
Now
stuck,
he's
oh my
stuck
God, he's
behind there.
stuck behind
My
the
guy
phone.
face planted into the window.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Are we good, sir?
He's
Are
like,
we
I
good?"
protected the house. I'm gonna go on patrol now.
He sure did.
Mommy, I'm so hungry.
I remember
Mommy, can I have a snack?
when we were. First of all, I helped you move, and that's
Yes.
a lot of books, my girl.
I have zero regrets.
Oh yeah,
No
100%.
regrets.
I actually, in the like few weeks before I moved, I was bringing like bag by bag books over and like stashing them at your place because
Yeah.
then it was like most of the way over. Anyway, yeah, I just thought it was really funny.
But I remember like seeing how much both of y'all read, and I was like, oh my god, am I not as good at reading as I thought I was?
But it's
But it turns out it's not about being good or
good.
bad
Yeah.
at reading or being, quote, an expert reader or
Yeah.
a fast reader. It's just that I, like you said earlier, prioritize other things.
And it's the same thing with knitting or anything else. It's just like when you go home, for example, for me, when I go home, there are nights when I don't feel like knitting at all, but I pick up a book and I just start reading. And then there are nights when I don't feel like reading and I just pick up knitting or I play video games. Like,
And
but
if you don't ever feel like reading, that's
okay.
fine too.
and that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with like the amount of something you do.
Yeah.
It's more like, does it bring you joy when you do it? Then,
Exactly.
you know, like, don't force yourself. Like, there's nothing. I feel like if the only reason you start reading is because you want to catch
you
up to
feel like
other
you
people,
have
or you
to,
feel like
that's
you
the
have,
wrong
then
reason.
exactly, you're not doing it for the right reasons. It's
Once I started comparing it to my lack of desire to exercise, it became a lot less like a thing I felt weird about because I don't like exercising, and so I don't do it. I know I should, and I can look at a lot of people in my life and be like, dang, they can climb a mountain really easily and they can do it whenever they want and they can run a marathon and like it's not a hard thing for them. But if I were to do it, it would take me like 6 months of preparation. And then I go, oh, but that's kind of the same mindset I need to have when it comes to reading. I just prioritize it. I do it a little bit
But it's
more.
also-
and so it's like, yeah,
but
Yeah,
it's
anyway.
also like because you dedicate the time to it, right? Just like
Exactly.
anything else, like somebody who works out, it's the same thing. They dedicate the time to it, or someone who goes like on a shopping spree, like whatever the activity is, as long as you dedicate
Exactly.
the time to it, whether you like it or not, you will become not an expert, but you'll definitely be more versed, I guess, in the activity. Because I don't want to call it being an expert.
Well, it
That's
just
not the
becomes
point. It's more like it's
easier-
natural. Yeah.
it becomes easier to do because it doesn't take as much mental energy to pick up the thing to do. And this can go hand in hand with anything. Like, there's a lot of people out there I know who hate cooking, but as they've done it more and more in terms of like experimenting with new recipes or trying to learn new skills, it becomes less of an onerous thing for them to do, and it
Yeah.
becomes more of like an everyday thing.
It's
And so
actually
it's-
something.
yeah.
So it's kind of funny because when I was telling my language students when a way to like learn new languages and like learn
Exactly.
like French or English or whatever language you're trying to learn, if you just focus on your passion for it or the reason why you want to learn that language. It's the same thing for reading. If you're reading for the sake of reading, but if you're reading because you want to read a story about like a specific story or a specific nonfiction book because you love the subject, you're going to be more inclined to read it and read it faster because you're passionate about the subject, right? It's the same principle. Like if you invest it. Yeah.
And also,
100%.
I feel like I also need to add this caveat in. I don't have kids. I don't have pets. And I have a stable full-time job that I commute to on public transit. So my time that I can set aside to read each day, each week is probably
already more.
far greater than somebody who has a couple of kids at home or is running their own business or, has to drive to and from work, stuff like that.
Or
it's
is writing their dissertation.
Exactly. Like my sister, for example, she's in her final year of residency, and she is now at the point where she can look forward and be like, I'm almost done. And she was just here visiting recently, and she said, I'm so excited to be done in July. I want to have more hobbies, but I want to have them set up in advance. So Allie helped me find some hobbies, and I went a little whole hog and was just like, do this and that, this, that, the other. And she was like, okay, let's pick one. So
like start with one, guys.
Let's start with one.
Allie help me find hobby.
Yeah, hobby. But it was just one of those things where it's like she recognized that she was at a point in her life where through med school, through residency, she did not have a lot of free time. And when she did have those small snatches of free time, what did she want to do? She wanted to see her partner. She wanted to spend time with her friends. She wanted to go on trips. She wanted to go hiking or to spin class or whatever. And so she would never classify herself as a big reader, or at least had been a big reader. But now that she's moving into a point of her life where she will have a little bit more free time, she's like, I'll give it a try. See if I even like it. And if she doesn't,
what if you hate it? Yeah.
And then if she hates it, that's fine.
If you hate
she
it,
moves
you just
on to
move on
something
with your
else.
life to the next
She'll
thing.
try a different thing. But that's the point, right? Like she's in this point in her life where she's soon going to have the time to try different things, to see what it is that she finds enriching and fulfilling, and then to fold that into her everyday life practice. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be the same things as what I like, even though we're sisters. Like, they're not going to be the same because we have very different personalities. But it's just like, yeah, exactly. It's such a problem for the disabled community too. It's like you spend so much of your time having to take care of your health, and you don't have as much free time to do other things, or like the mental capacity to think about doing those other things or to learn a new skill. Lexi, you're hitting the nail on the head. I find that sometimes too. Like having to care for, like, if I'm in, oh my god, I get these time streaks where I have really terrible insomnia because of my medication, and it's like I can't do anything. Like, I come home and I just go straight to bed after work, and I'm lying in bed and I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm failing at being a person with interests. But then when I wake up the next morning and I feel like marginally better, I'm like, oh no, it was a good idea that I prioritized my health over the things that I wanted to do, because in this moment that's what I needed to put my tiny amount of energy that I had toward. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and anyway, I just want to point out that I'm so jealous that you can do that in your commute, because I wish I could read while I'm in the train.
You get car sick though.
Oh, it's a
so
problem.
Car sick.
I like motion sickness is a problem. Yeah. So there's no reading whatsoever in anything that moves.
No. Somehow knitting is better.
Knitting is fine if it's not complicated. So if it's stockinette, I'm fine. The second it's anything else, it's like my brain's
anything
like,
other
no.
than stockinette? Yeah.
I don't think you understand. You're not doing. The only thing I can do is listen. So I can listen to an audiobook technically.
It's all about being patient and gentle.
It's all about peeing.
Very true.
It's all about peeing.
No, I jest. But this is, you know what? This is why audiobooks have been a good resource for me recently. Smart. Because I do have to commute and I do have to walk Bilbo like 20-30 minutes a day every day, so that's a good time for me to like sneak in a little extra something because I already have to do the thing, so I might as well be listening
instead of books. But I could start doing a little bit more books, because podcasts, what I like is like I go for like the really, really short podcasts that are like 10 minutes.
Listen to one chapter at a time.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Oh yeah,
that's how I like to break it
up.
Well,
the one I started, the first one I did was actually the one you suggested. I
suggest a lot of books to people.
Seven
Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle,
which is so good. That's the first. I never read the book. I only listened to the audiobook, and I absolutely adored it. First of all, the voice, like whoever was voicing that, like so good. But yeah, like it's just
No, you're right. You're right, Lexi. We are pressured to have to feel productive at all times.
It is a problem from
a social issue.
Well, it's also a problem from older generations where you were essentially told your entire life is how much you produce and how much you bring to the table. So it's only now that we're starting to be a bit more kind to ourselves. But I think that's also like
an adult thing that, yes, older generations did have that ingrained in them. Like our parents, for example, are very much like production driven. But also I want to like push back at that a little bit, because even though in their adulthood that was true, in their childhood, there was prioritized play.
Yes, we didn't have that as much.
Because there were fewer ways to be connected, you weren't surveilled as much as a child. And so I feel like my generation, at least when I was growing up, was the cutoff between, like, my older cousins still had the thing where they, you know, like their moms would shoo them out of the house. When they came back from school, and then they were not allowed back in the house until dinner was ready.
That was me. It was like
at like 7 p.m., 8 p.m.
It was you're coming back for dinner, and I will see you before then.
It's
like, thanks, Mom. I feel great.
As soon as the street lights go on, you're home.
Exactly, but my brothers and I, like, as opposed to my cousins, because my mom's the youngest one of her sisters. My brothers and I, we were no longer allowed to just be shooed out of the house and play, because we had like, you know, after school activities, and then we had a bunch of homework because we were like, you know, like, I don't know, in some of those intense like schools, and then we had like to be home, and we had phones so my mom could monitor us, and then we were like picked up and driven everywhere because we didn't have bikes that were used for commuting, so because my mom didn't trust, you know, our parents didn't trust us commuting on our own as a child. So, like, I could probably go to the convenience store walking by myself, but if I needed to go to a friend's house, or if I needed to go do a group project or anything, I had to be driven back and forth. So I didn't, like, my generation and most everyone in my school didn't have that prioritized play. So I really resent, like, the fact that adults, a generation older than us, ingrained children immediately after them to be productive right off the bat. And
it's and like there's a lot of reasons why this happened. I think obviously the advancement of technology most likely had something to do with it, the fact that you could give a phone to a child essentially. But also I think because if you look at it historically in the 70s, 80s, it's when people started realizing that the world was not as safe as we thought it was. And so sending out your kids, especially like, I think the 90s was like when it kind of died out slowly, where it was like before then, like I said, it was you get out of the house, I don't want to see you, and there was no question that I would get picked, like that I would not get picked up by a stranger, versus now where it's like you think about it, you're like, is my child going to be safe if they go to the park by themselves? So it was a very different, like,
and the world is different.
And I mean, I had my first cell phone, I was a teenager. So until 14, then, 15. I had absolutely no, like, my parents had no way of contacting me if I was outside. They just knew where I was because I said I was going to be at the park, right? So there's no, I still remember, like, the first phone I had was, like, the indestructible Nokia. And it was one of those where it's like
the little blue brick.
And you only, and it was like with a little card, and it was like
you had to charge it.
And you had to charge it, and it was like $10 for $5 for like emergencies only. And if you had the horrible mishap of pressing the internet button,
oh my god, yes.
Like that was it. Just recharge and your phone would freeze.
Your entire credit was gone.
It was gone. It was over. But, like, at the same time, it was very, there was a lot of freedom in that time that unfortunately a lot of, like, and I feel even today, like, if you look at generations after us, they're having it even worse, in my opinion, because they're so connected.
And, like, the chat was saying, too, is really hard not to compare yourself to other people when you have access to everyone posting their amazing stuff.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like now it's the opposite.
Wins, right? Like we're seeing our own failures, but we're only seeing other people's wins.
Exactly.
Yes, it's curated. It's a curated image. Always remember that whatever you see online is curated images. But it's weird, this thing where, like, we didn't have that when we were younger. So if you were, let's say you were bullied at school, when you got home, that was it, right?
It stopped.
It stopped. Now it's 24/7 because people have
People are
online
getting, like,
presences.
doxxed on the internet,
So
yeah.
exactly, right? And it's a very different, and you're also, there's a lot of pressure to show a certain image or have a certain amount of followers or like, it's kind of honestly one of the reasons why it took me so long to get into social media is because there's so much pressure to be someone or to do something.
Yeah.
And it starts the second the kid goes online. And if they're already young and impressionable, especially with like body image or like just you know, like they're 8, 9 years old, or I don't know how old they are, but like a lot of them are very young. It's a very different ball game.
It's funny. I have absolutely no desire to be a parent. Zero negative desire to be a parent. And when people ask me why, and I tell them that this exact thing is one of the multitude of reasons why I do not ever want to be a parent, they get kind of like, what? Really? It's like, well, yeah, the internet's a shit place.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to willingly subject anyone to it if I could avoid it.
Yeah.
And yet here we are on the internet
Trying to provide...
shout
Yeah, but I think we're doing it
in an imperfect way, and
exactly, in a very organic way, and we're not trying to be something we're not.
I will loudly proclaim all of my failures to you. All you have to do is ask.
And we do.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to like remember, if you're new to watching Purl Perspectives, one of our main values is that we're sharing imperfectly.
Yeah.
Because we're sharing slowly.
Yeah.
So you're don't expect to see an FO parade from us every week.
We're here to share life stories and our imperfections.
Exactly.
And our good stuff too. Like,
so if you're on the internet and you feel like, oh, everyone's doing such perfect things, no, you can connect with us. And I absolutely forgot where I was on this, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to be next, and my phone's over there, so I'm probably just gonna do whatever.
I have mine. Do you want
me to pull up the pattern? We all made this shirt last year, so...
Well, some of y'all made it. I'm going on year 3.
It looks good. You're so close, though.
So nicely.
It looks so good.
But yeah, this is year 3 of the Velocore tee for me.
There you go.
And I've already forgotten what I'm supposed to do. I'm pretty sure I'm at the end of I'm probably at the end of the shoulder.
Probably. Oh, you've also slipped a couple stitches there.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. It's not very slippery yarn.
So the Velocore tee is a t-shirt that was designed by Andrea Mowry. And it consists of a lot of like... not mosaic knitting, slip stitches. I guess that is mosaic knitting. Yeah, slip stitches. And
why is this in Japanese?
Oh shit, did I click the wrong file? I might have.
I was like, am I having...
Come on.
Is this a dream?
It. Are you having a stroke? Can you smell burnt toast?
Can you now read Japanese?
Did you know that women don't actually smell burnt toast?
No. Oh, the Heritage Minute lied to us?
The Heritage Minute lied.
Okay, so it's only... and what about the arm thing? Is it only men as well?
No, the arm thing is prevalent in women, but the smell of burning toast... my friend Julie explained this to me. It doesn't happen on everyone.
Okay, so it's not just men...
It's not a symptom. It's mostly prevalent on men because they only did those tests on men. Like the sample were all male, which, you know, the patriarchy!
Pretty much, especially when it comes to the medical field.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Me.
How is the row of accidental pearls? I fixed it. Thank you. But then I got to the end of the amount of increases that I needed to do. And again, I don't have the pattern with me, so I'm switching projects now for one that I also don't have the pattern for.
Thankfully, digital patterns are accessible. And if you want it on a bigger screen, my iPad's just over there, and I can provide you with a
good.
screen.
I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be doing the body yaddy yaddy. No.
Body yaddy? No, it's the shoulders.
I'm on the shoulder.
So you'd probably be switching over to the
I've
ribbing.
separated for the front.
Yeah.
And it says...
That's right.
Continue
researchers.
in pattern until the armhole measures. God knows what size I was making. Centimeters from the point of separation, ending with a...
Well, if you count how many stitches you have, that will tell you what size you're making.
But I'll tell you what, I broke the contrast color. So that tells me...
Oh, you're probably at the ribbing
that
at the top.
I measured.
And we're like, this is long enough.
Yeah.
This is
I mean, it would make sense.
5.5 inches because it's almost the length of my hand.
Yeah.
And my hand is 6 inches.
Yeah.
We've established this.
We have established that. Interesting. Are there any other Formula One fans out there? Do not tell me the results of today's race. I got all the way up to lap 28 before I had to skedoodle out of my place and over to here. So I still have half of a race to watch upon returning home later. But if there's any fellow F1 fans out there, what do you think of the season so far? Or am I just alone? Is it just me?
Well, it's not just you. There are other people out there who enjoy it. Yeah.
Right now, which would be okay too. I have. So I started watching F1 in 2021. A friend of mine was like, "You have to watch Drive to Survive," and I was like, "I've watched everything else on Netflix. Why not?" And I did, and it's like a soap opera. Drive to Survive. It's kind of hilarious how they've really been like. Ooh, yeah.
I don't do cars going in circles.
Thankfully, it's not circles because the track is a big squiggle. So there's lots of corners.
Do you do cars going in squiggles?
But either way, my friend got me into it in 2021, and I have been hooked ever since. I find the technology of it incredible. Like, the aerodynamic functionality of the cars is just bananas to me. And what I found out recently is that not only is F1 like being the cutting edge of like car technology, but they're using the innovative engineering that they're doing to create, what's the word I'm looking for? Advances in other places.
Oh.
So there's a podcast that I listen to called Paddock Project, and they
What
had
project?
Paddock Project. So
that's with a D, Paddock.
Paddock Project, yeah.
Yeah.
And so they just recently had an episode where they interviewed somebody working in sustainability in F1, and one of the things that they were talking about, this researcher, she was mentioning how the technology that's being created is being applied to lots of other things. So, for example, McLaren F1 team, some of the technology that they've developed has gone on to create better, more effective incubators for babies in the NICU.
What?
Right? And then like all these other things, thank you, that are being done in terms of, yeah, anyway, it's just really fascinating to be like, we've created this technology to work for our cars, but we've turned around and we've said, we've created this technology that can do X, but can it also do Y and Z?
And you know what? Through history, I feel like that's a lot what happens, whether it's technology or medication or whatever, it's created for a purpose, and then somehow through either trial and error or whatever, or somebody else's idea, they decide to use it for something else, and it's like, oh, this is what it was actually, meant to do, or this is what it could actually be applied to. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, so Lexi's mentioning that they saw the first female F1 mechanic in the really important races the other day. You are most likely thinking of Laura Mueller, who is the first female race engineer, who is the race engineer for Esteban Ocon of the Haas F1 team. It's really cool, really, really cool. The progress that's being made with having women in motorsport at all levels of motorsport, in all aspects of motorsport. And if you are ever interested in like an entryway to motorsport and you particularly want to watch female drivers, F1 Academy is so fun because the races are a lot shorter, so you're not committing to like 3 hours every Sunday or whatever. F1 Academy is a racing series designed to foster emerging female motorsport drivers.
Cool.
So for the I think the youngest driver currently on the grid is Alba Larson, and she's 16. And what's really great about it is that these drivers have a maximum of 2 years in F1 Academy, and then from there, the hope is that they'll be able to get seats in the like feeder series, like F3, F2, and so on. And so the goal is to one day have a female F1 driver on the grid permanently, and not just like as a reserve driver or like whatever. So it's been really, really fun to watch. The drivers are fantastic. Some of them are like so badass. So how would you watch F1 Academy if you want to dip your toe in? So they have a really great YouTube channel where they post a lot of content. Their Instagram account as well, I think it's literally just F1 Academy, is great. I personally have a membership, or a subscription, to Formula One TV. But that's because I watch all of the series, so like it makes sense. But I'm pretty sure you can watch some of the races on YouTube, I think.
If not, Prime might actually have
Prime,
some
maybe
of it.
it'll be different from place.
But
like
the
from country to country,
the Netflix series is a good introduction.
And
Yeah.
actually, no, that reminds me. Last year, they announced that they were making a Drive to Survive version, but with F1 Academy.
Ooh.
So I don't know when it's coming out. As soon as it does, don't worry, I'll talk about it because
She'll be
I
watching.
love it. I mean, it's like it's an intersection of two of my favorite things, like feminism, advancing opportunities for marginalized communities, and fast cars.
Cars that
Like
go
fast
zoom,
cars.
zoom, zoom.
And what's really cool, okay, this is going to be so... There's a kid who lives upstairs. He's having
And
a great
he's having
day.
a great day.
But one of the things, this is going to be... Oh my god, I'm going to sound like such a nerd, but like, embrace it. Embrace what brings you joy.
Oh, this is what makes you sound like a nerd. This specific comment?
What I'm about to say next.
Just kidding. Out of all the things you've said in your life, this is the
Your
one.
life, this is the cutting
This-
point.
this is how you're
moment in
outing
time-
yourself.
In this moment in time, right now. Formula One cars and some of the lower Formula cars, they have this flap on the back.
Yes,
that does,
yes.
It's called DRS, so it's a drag reduction system. Essentially, at very specific points in the race, they can open the flap and it makes them go faster.
Yeah.
And the use of that open flap means that it's easier to overtake cars ahead of you, right? So it's meant to be like a boost. You get something like 30 kilometers per hour extra with the flap open.
Okay.
Formula One Academy does not have that on their cars.
Okay.
And so when a driver overtakes another one, that is entirely skill-based. That's not... Because that's another thing. The lower formulas all have equal machinery. So when you are watching the lower formulas, Formula 3, British F4, F1 Academy, you are truly watching the driver's skill. Like, obviously the cars can get tuned up. They can set them up with their balances and whatever slightly differently. But for the most part, the technology's equal. When you get to F1, then everybody has different cars.
Yeah,
because
everyone brings their own toy.
The teams are building them themselves. But, like, these lower formulas, I think, are even more fun to watch because it's like, that is a fast kid. Mm-hmm. Like, that is a driver who is not afraid to take risks.
Are we gonna
really
go watch
cool.
the movie that's coming out about F1?
Yeah, I am.
Where-
Vanessa and I have already set a date to go.
Seriously? Because I want to see it, because I like one of my favorite tropes is that cranky old guy takes care of young kid. And I feel like that is it, but also with fast cars.
Yeah, so there's a movie coming out, I think in the summer, called F1. Very original, I know. And it's got Brad Pitt in it, but
is now a cranky old man, so I'm back in.
and it's being produced by Lewis Hamilton, who is one of the greatest of all times in terms of F1 drivers.
Really? Producing the movie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jerry Bruckheimer is, I think, directing it, and they actually created all this new camera mounting technology and like gyroscopic technology so that they could actually film the drivers inside the cars in like while at such fast speeds. Anyway, it's just really fast. Like from a technological standpoint, it's really fascinating.
Yeah, that's
so it's
really
great.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to watch it. When it comes out.
If we're just because we're talking about sports, I think we might want to just give a little shout out to the what is it called, the Northern Super League, which
What is this?
It's the it's the official. Jesus, I'm gonna screw it up, but. Top division professional women's soccer league in Canada. They just played their first match
it
ever.
was Montreal versus Toronto.
Canada, like we didn't have a female league. Now we do.
What?
Yep. There was a league in the States.
It's,
now we have a league in Canada.
We were. Let's be real. We were dragging, and by soccer we mean
football.
But it's just, I'm so happy to know that this is happening. I'm not necessarily much of a huge sports fan, but this gives me joy.
I was looking.
I love that. Go
So
girls.
they've just announced the name of the Ottawa team. It's the Ottawa Rapids.
Heck yeah.
And so I think the tickets for their season just went live like yesterday, the day before.
I would pay to watch them live.
It was funny when I saw that it went up. I was like, oh, I should tell the girls that we're going and that they don't have a choice and I should just buy us tickets.
Let's do it. Let's do 100%.
we'll
I want to
find-
support them.
yeah, we
100%.
should.
Listen, I am not a sports fan on the best of days, but if you want to go to the soccer arena, I'm gonna have a beer. I'm gonna have a hot dog.
Exactly.
It's
Oh
gonna
no,
be
you
a
make a
great
whole
time.
event out of it. Like, but it's
There's
also
usually music.
what's really
Look,
cool about this.
I
is-
love a team ball cap.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm gonna get me I'm gonna pay an obscene amount of money to get an Ottawa Rapids FC cap.
100%.
I am
Like,
ready.
we need to support them, and then not
Yeah.
only that, a lot of women professional soccer players were Canadian, were actually playing overseas because they could not play in Canada
There
because
wasn't
there
a
was no
league.
league.
They can play
So now they're
now.
actually like, holy shit, I get to come back and play in my own freaking country.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
awesome.
that's
I'm so
great.
excited for that. When
I
like
cannot believe there wasn't a women's league.
We
until
are-
now.
well,
There
yeah,
was one in the States for a few years, or I mean, it's still going, obviously, but it's been, I want to say, like 5 or 6 years that they've had the league in the States.
yeah.
Canada was definitely behind on that, but
Still not super inclusive until we have a non-gender conforming league. But other than that, listen, it's progress.
But it's progress. We're getting somewhere, you know.
Well,
like
you know
small
what?
steps.
They're. Oh my gosh! Don't quote me on this because I don't follow professional football, but there was and maybe still is. I'm not sure if they've retired or not. A non-binary player named Quinn on the Canadian women's team, and they have been like such an incredible role model, not just in football, like women's football, here in Canada, but just like in general. And they competed at the last World Cup. They competed in the Olympics.
You
on
go,
Team
Quinn.
Canada. And they're incredible. So
Love that.
so if you're looking for
There
great
is
examples,
representation.
there is. It's not as visible as I think many of us would like, but there are incredible players out there who are putting themselves out in the spotlight, being vulnerable with us, the public, and saying, hey, this is me, I deserve a space here.
Yeah.
And then are absolutely killing it with their skills.
Yes.
So yeah, we stand.
We
Actually,
do
I should
stand.
see if they're which team they're on, because I would imagine if they're not yet retired, they're probably playing somewhere.
Well, they might maybe Toronto.
Let me check.
So right now there's 6 clubs.
Check.
Calgary Wild FC, the Halifax Tides FC, Montreal Roses.
So they play for Vancouver.
There you go.
They play now for Vancouver. They previously played for Paris FC in the Swedish league, as well as for the Washington Spirit and Seattle Reign in the National Women's Soccer League in the state.
So the Ottawa Rapids will be at the TD Place Stadium. Capacity of 24,000. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vancouver Rise FC and then AFC Toronto. Those are the 6 clubs right now.
Hey, the more the merrier.
Well, it's just nice to see that it's
Yeah.
progressing,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't expect it to necessarily overnight become a sensation,
Well,
amazing, but like it's nice to see steps in the right direction.
If I remember correctly, I think the National Women's Soccer League, so the American League, I think they just announced that they were going to be expanding like two more teams. I don't know who this number is, so I'm not going to answer it.
We're busy.
I hung up on them already.
Oh.
If it's not a bot, then they will leave a message.
Yeah.
But how much you want to bet it's somebody being like, I'm from this campaign. Have you voted? Yes.
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
I
we're-
have voted.
There were so many. Okay, I don't
There's
know
a
how long it
federal
was
election
yours.
going on in Canada right now. The advanced voting is
right now.
Today,
and on
tomorrow.
April the 28th, the official election
Is-
day
yeah.
will happen. But all 3 of us have already voted. Right?
Yeah, so Friday I went, and the line, I waited over 35 minutes in my line
That's
to get in.
great.
Like that, I have never
I mean, it's
seen
not great
that.
to wait, but it's good to see.
No,
that
but
people are
it's
coming
great
out.
because
Yeah.
it means. However, I have to admit that a lot of these people were older, which is like that's usually
Still.
who votes the most. I feel,
Still.
which
But not
is
everybody had
frustrating
Friday
me
off. Not
a little
everybody
bit. Like
had
I
Friday
hope that we get more younger people voting as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, it's definitely It's the longest wait I've ever had to do
I
voting.
went and I voted yesterday, and I only had to wait like 15 minutes. They were moving pretty quickly, but I was in line waiting, and there was this older couple behind me, and they're like, just chatting to themselves, and one of them goes, I don't think I've ever seen this many 30-year-olds in one room. And I just had to laugh because I was like, you're making some gross assumptions. But I appreciate
I'm here for it. Yeah, I also had an elderly couple just behind me having a chat, but they did not talk about that.
Anyway, suffice it to say that we live in I guess Annie and I live in the riding. So that's the word that we use in Canada for electoral districts. We live in the riding with the historically highest voter turnout in Canada. In 2012, in that federal election, this riding, Ottawa Centre, had, I think it was like 87% voter turnout.
Nice!
The number has dropped off, unfortunately, in the last few years. But, historically, this has been one of the highest voting ridings in Canada.
Very high civic responsibility.
I mean, it's really not surprising when you can stand in one part of the neighborhood and see Parliament Hill. Like, we are very much right in the thick of it.
A lot of the people who live around this area are public servants, us included, which is why we're not able to say much more.
Discuss more, but
there's this thing called the Caretaker Convention, which applies to all public servants, and I don't want to go so far as to say it's gag order, but it gives shades of
it's essentially saying
order.
Please be neutral and don't don't take a stand publicly.
Which we won't do, but if you are in Canada
vote
and are able to vote,
that's the one stand we can't take.
Is go exercise your civic duty. It's important to let your voice
all
be
you
heard.
need is the little piece of paper you get in the mail.
Yeah.
That's your voter ID card.
And even if you don't have it, you can actually go, you can register.
You just
if you don't have it, you just need ID.
Yeah, a piece of ID that has your address on it, or a piece of ID and a corroborating piece, so like a credit card bill or something that also has your address on it. It is
also, this was a really
so
special occasion for me because it's my first time voting in a federal election as a Canadian citizen.
Woo! Exercising your right.
You voted in the provincial one a couple months ago.
I voted in the provincial one
in February.
That was not the result I wanted, and they didn't make a big deal about it. Like when I went in, they were like, and then they shoot us out. And I was like, where's my button? I voted. I want a sticker.
Oh my god! Have I told you that in 2019, I worked the federal election?
Yeah.
Because I was in a period of unemployment after school. After having graduated. And so I worked the election, and I was really excited because I was like 28, 29. And so every person who would come through my table, I was, being the poll clerk, whatever, I'd be like, thank you for participating in our democracy. And there was always the grumbly old people who were like, but I just remember there was this one woman, she came in,
always one.
She had a baby in a carrier. She was with her partner, and, I asked for the paperwork, whatever, got them their ballots, and while she was waiting for her partner to finish up, because you can only have, one person to the table to vote at a time, while she was waiting to her partner to finish up, I had said to her when she, submitted her ballot, I was like, thank you for participating in our democracy, have a good rest of your day. She's waiting, and she goes, this was my first time voting. I was like, wait, what? And she's like, I just became a citizen 6 months ago.
Oh, that's so exciting.
I can't believe that I get to do this. And I was like, congratulations, that's amazing.
Not
only did you clearly just have a baby, because that was a fresh baby, but
that looks fresh.
A fresh batch.
But she also was like, no, I got my citizenship. I'm participating in this democracy, and it was like, yes.
I love to see
really
that.
It is really exciting because I did spend 10 years in this country.
Paying taxes,
being affected either negatively or positively by, the use of those taxes and the policy decisions that were being made on my behalf without having the privilege of including my voice into those decisions. And so it feels really good now to not only be part of that democracy, but to be able to exercise it to the best of my values, to the closest possible to the values that I uphold. Yeah. So it's actually really exciting and super nerdy to say, but
no, it's good.
I think
next up
it's
is
good
because
if there's anything,
then you'll have the trifecta.
Yes, right.
It's just like it always baffles me, people who don't vote. Like, there's a difference between people who cannot vote or people who don't have the ability
Ineligible
for whatever
to vote,
reason. It could also be because they can't, like, I don't know, like there's something stopping them from doing it, whether it's age, whether it's accessibility, something, right? But if you have the opportunity to vote and you don't, it baffles me, because I know people like that, and I know people like that who complain.
You've given up the right to complain.
Who complain afterwards.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
mean,
like, exactly. I was like, why are you
One
complaining?
thing about me, I'm gonna complain.
I want the right to complain.
Can confirm.
You guys usually are on the receiving end of me complaining.
Or we're griping alongside you. That's also just as likely to happen.
Thank you, Lexi. I'm very excited. I managed to vote for the first time. It was great. But no, Carine, I agree with you. Like, there's some people that just, like, refuse to vote.
I mean, like, it's...
And some of it is mistrust in the system, which I get.
Which I can understand to a certain degree, but at the same time, by not participating, you're essentially just saying, well, democracy is useless, or it's not working. Okay, it's flawed, 100%. It is not perfect, but it is the best we have right now. So, like, by not exercising that, you know, like, you're...
My dad, I had to ask my dad nicely to vote in the provincial election, because he's one of those people who's like, the system, all politicians are crooks. So I had to, like, remind him of, like, how important it was to vote in the provincial election, because, like, that's where healthcare is in Canada. It's done at the
provincial level.
So
you
I
know
had
what?
to be like,
Lexi nailed it right there.
It's the people that say that they don't
That
have
just
to
means
vote.
that they are privileged enough to benefit from a system that is already in their favor. 100%.
Snaps.
100%.
100%.
That's what that is.
Yeah. All that to say, I saw my dad today. He's helping me out with some work at my place. And I was like, oh, I have to vote this weekend. He's like, I've already done it. And I was like, really?
What?
And he's like, yeah, I just really don't want this one guy to get in. And I was like,
Okay.
Good for you.
voting out of spite is
It's fine.
It's a start. It's
Honestly,
voting.
I know this might be a little controversial. I respect more someone who votes, even if they vote for something that I don't agree with, than someone who doesn't vote.
Yeah.
I'd rather you vote for someone I don't agree with than not vote at all, because at
you've
least
engaged
you've engaged and you've exercised your right and your duty. Let's be real. So yeah,
It's been really interesting to see, especially with everything happening in the States, how people have not been made aware of just how important it is to vote. And I think part of that is just that, like, the education system in some places is either terrible or rigged against people actually having useful knowledge. But I find it so interesting how it's like, okay, we vote in the municipal elections. Well, what does that impact? Road infrastructure, libraries, doctor's office wait times and emergency room wait times, because it'll depend on how many hospitals there are. When we vote in the provincial election, what does that impact? That's our healthcare. That's our highway infrastructure. That's our water. That's our energy. That's our provincial parks, you know. When we vote at the federal election, what does that impact? Imports, exports, taxes, international diplomacy and relations, and all of these things that a lot of people don't necessarily see as being interconnected, but are so interconnected right now. And it's just amazing that people are finally, because of what's happening in the States, having their eyes opened to what could happen if they don't engage, and are, I hate to say that they're they're being made fearful, but that's kind of what's happening.
Yeah.
But as a result, they're now becoming active and engaged, and at least listening to what's going on, as opposed to just willfully ignorant.
It's actually interesting, because
is
a lot of people don't realize.
I just had a thought that's a whole new level to the phrase ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Because if you have the privilege to remain ignorant and your life is not affected, damn.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
That's blissful.
You're very lucky.
Yeah.
So I think I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm biracial. My mom is a white lady who grew up in Northern...
what?
Surprise! Happy early birthday! It's your half birthday, isn't it? Something like that. But my mom's a white lady from Northern Ontario. She grew up in a small town, and that has the, like, social strings attached to it that you would assume. My dad's a brown guy who grew up in India before immigrating to Canada. Like, that has the social connotations that you would assume. And for the longest time, despite the fact that we since when exactly? Mom, you've lied to me. No, I would never. It's okay. This is a tiny tangent on my tangent. My mom likes to remind me that I'm half white, and I'm like, babe, it's never gonna happen.
Why does she do that? What's the point?
Because I'm always just like, oh man, it's tough being a brown woman out there, like being a queer brown woman who's disabled, like blah 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 blah. And she's like, but don't forget you're half white. And I'm like, but
Mom.
I don't look at Mom. Like,
it's more that the experience you've had is not.
I'll cop to being a coconut. I was raised in such a way that like I'm very westernized and. Anyway, whatever.
That is so funny, coconut, because it's brown on the outside.
Have you never heard that? It's so perfect. Look, this has been my whole identity, my whole life. I'm a coconut. I've had to wrestle with this fact for a long time, but it's the truth. But
that's really good.
What I was getting at is that now that I've gotten older and I'm the one who's like actively engaged politically and voting and joining protests and, signing petitions and emailing my elected officials and all these things, then, my mom lives in the same town as us, so, like, I see her all the time, and I'll go over to her house, and I'll stay over, sleep over there, and in the morning we'll be eating breakfast and watching the news, and she'll be like, oh, this is so unfortunate, and I'm like, you want to hear unfortunate? And then I'm like, but I think what it is that I take the time to, like, get into the grit of it with her, whereas she's only normally just used to watching it on TV. And so now
that is the normal for a lot of people.
That's the thing.
But it's now that I'm getting older and I'm explaining more and more and more of this stuff to her, and then I'm also like she's like becoming more aware of it, more cognizant of it, looking around, seeing how it's actually affecting people. She's gotten more still very much like
on the fence, or not on the fence, but
she's still very much like at arm's length.
Yeah.
But she is actually noticing things. She's starting to care about things.
Which is
like,
the first step.
It's so beautiful because she's like, when this election was called at the beginning of April, she went and she voted at the electoral office like 2 weeks early.
Oh, mother.
Because she's like, I just wanted to make sure, like, I know, blah, blah, blah. And like, these are important things. And I was like,
but it's good because a lot of people who who look like me don't necessarily know these things because they don't have that experience in their lives, or they don't know anyone who has that experience. Yeah. So unless they are not told, but unless they witness it, or or they're told, like, it's hard for them to put themselves in that shoe. Like, the best I always give that example because it's pretty much this, like, a representation of it. And it was explaining to my partner what it's like to be a woman going to the park at night.
Yeah.
And it was me and another woman just talking, and him and his friend listening. And they have no women in their lives, or like other than their moms, right? So they didn't really grow up around like girls their age. So, and we're explaining like, well, no, if you go to the park, like, you make sure that you're, you're safe or whatever. This was way young, but the girl was talking about going to the park with her kids and saying how she wanted to be safe and whatever. And, well, it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. It can't be, dude, like, it's 9:00 at night or whatever. You're with 2 young kids, you're one woman. And it was literally them not realizing. And I remember just saying to my partner, the first time I was sexualized as a human being, I was 12 years old. Yep. And it blew his mind because he never thought someone that young, or that, that someone, it never crossed his mind. And it's not because he's a bad person. Yeah. He just never thought about it. Yeah. So in many cases, that's what it's about. It's just explaining to them, this is my point of view. Yep. This is what it feels like. Yep. And then the person's like, okay.
So as a takeaway, have friends of different lived experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
It really helps. It really helps. Diversify your social circle.
Yes.
Yeah, if anything, you'll get some great food out of it.
So much.
And in the best of cases, those new friends will share their experiences with you, and you'll learn a little bit more about the world.
And just don't push back too, right? Like, that's just a random thing. Like, when somebody's like, this is my experience, don't be like, well, it doesn't happen to me. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, but don't do that. You say that, but it's true.
It's the bear in the woods. Yeah. I picked the bear.
Yeah.
We pick the bear.
Yeah, always. Always the bear.
Choose the bear.
Unless your culture already has excellent food, Dusk, in which case you won't get any better. But at least it'll be different.
But it'll be something different. Exactly.
There's this lovely Indian woman on TikTok that's been like releasing a series of hilarious like parody videos.
The bear, yes, exactly.
Parody videos where she's like, "Hi, I'm Indian and my husband is white, and so my mother-in-law is helping me learn how to cook his traditional foods so that he feels more like confident." And she's like wearing an overall like denim overalls and like a cowboy hat, and she's like, "I got this outfit because I know that that's usually what he's accustomed to, so I wanted to make him feel more comfortable around me, so I got some of his traditional garments to wear around the house." And she's like, "I believe this is called a mayonnaise, and it's one of their favorite curries. They put that on everything, so I bought a big tub of it because I know it's my favorite spice." She's so good.
Oh my
She's
God,
so good at
love
it.
it.
The other day she was making, I think, like a plate with like a corn dog and some cream, like mayonnaise, pasta salad.
I mean, it's like
so funny.
it's true though, because even in Canada, like I'm looking at French Canadian, because it's the only thing I can think of. English not so much, but French Canadian, like there's not much cuisine there, like other than like poutine and like like our version of shepherd's pie, I guess.
Poutine is one of the greatest gifts.
Of
Quebec could have given you.
I don't know. I
Oh
three
my
cities
God.
are contending for the title,
Hi,
but
Tracy.
whoever it is, these
That-
people are
Amazing.
wonderful, and we
This is how
we
I
thank them.
will. This is a metric I use when I go somewhere abroad and a place is advertised as being like a Canadian pub, and if that puts in on the menu, like I will order it so that I can either put them on blast or congratulate them and give them like a.
So what was your favorite? Like, what was the highest quality one you
so-
found abroad?
Funnily enough, when I lived in Cardiff, the capital of Wales, for 2 years when I was in grad school, and there was this like street eats kind of thing that popped up, and there was this one guy that had a stall in the street eats place, and he did poutine. And I remember going up to, it was like a chip shop, and I remember going up to the stall and seeing this on the menu and leaning across the counter, and I was like, I'm going to order the poutine, and I'm going to tell you right now that I'm a Canadian, and if it's wrong, I'm going to judge you so hard. Like, straight in the eyes of the guy taking my order.
pressure!
I was like, I will decimate you on social media. I wouldn't have actually, but I was like, I am ready to lay all my cards.
I would be like, I'm just gonna close the shop right now.
And
My heart rate is already up.
the person taking my order was like, oh, okay. And then he turns around and he calls back into the kitchen and he's like, Michael, come here. And Michael, I guess the owner of the stall, comes out and he's like, what is it? And the guy taking my order points to me and goes, she's Canadian. And Michael goes, oh.
We knew this day would come.
We knew this day would
So
come.
he like winces and he goes back into the kitchen, and a few minutes later out comes a poutine with shredded mozzarella cheese.
Oh, baby girl.
And I took one look at it and I was like, he's like, we haven't been able to source cheese curds. And I was like, okay, well, at least you know what you need.
At least they know the information. They have the information. Were the
Sweating.
fries good at least?
Oh my God, no. Well, it was a Welsh chippy. Of course the fries were good. The gravy was really great. The
It's
only
just
problem
the
was
fries. It's
shredded
just the
mods.
cheese.
But it was just so funny because, like, the look on their faces when I was like, I am a Canadian.
They're like, and it's over.
And
The
I
dream
was
is
done.
over,
She was
guys.
done.
We have to take it off the menu.
Ironically enough, the next time I went back, they had renamed it from poutine to cheese and gravy chips.
It's because of you, right?
100%.
100%. They're like, let's just not right.
They were actually really sweet. That street eats place, it had like multiple different stalls in it. I'm blanking on what it was like actually called. It had a name. But it was fantastic. I loved eating there, and the chippy was great. The gravy was actually really good, but they just could not call it poutine until they had cheese curds.
If it's not cheese curds, you can't call it poutine.
Yeah.
No.
I
and
learned
it has
that
to be
day one.
It
was
has
my
to be
immigration
like
test.
the squeaky, like cheese curds.
Yeah.
We're talking
They
squeaky,
need to be
squeaky
squeak, yeah.
cheese.
Yeah.
If it doesn't squeak, it ain't cheese curds.
Nope.
If it doesn't squeak.
It ain't cheese.
We
curds.
just had a like spring brunch on Thursday at work, and everybody, has to bring something. Somebody brought bacon, somebody brought pancakes, whatever. And my supervisor's like, I'll bring the cheese curds.
Yes.
And she showed up with like 2 bags of cheese curds,
Heck
and they
yeah.
were one of the first things gone.
I mean, it's addictive.
They're so
It is
good.
addictive.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to like you can't
so
not
good.
eat those things. Mm-hmm. Like if I go
They make
whenever.
really good snacks too.
So my bestie, when she comes from Montreal,
Does she bring you some?
she stops at St. Albert's Cheese Curds Factory, and
Oh,
then she buys the
wow.
biggest freaking bag they have, and then
you
we
just-
spend the next 2-3 days just
Eating
Yum,
cheese
yum, yum,
curds.
yum, yum, yum.
just eating
They're
those things like it's
so
nobody's
good.
business. And yeah, it's worth it.
Totally worth it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the poutine festival is in a few weeks.
Yeah,
by the
it's
way.
coming up soon.
Yeah.
It's the poutine.
So yeah, if you're out and about in the world and you see poutine, tag us.
Yeah,
Because we
We
want
want
to
to
see how
see.
it's being
Take a
represented.
picture. We want to see what it looks like.
We'll
Yeah.
give you a rating.
Yes.
We'll say that looks like genuine
We
poutine
will give
or
you
no.
we'll give you a rating.
Yeah.
And as a Mexican woman, if you're out and about in the world and you see Mexican food, do not tag me. I just get aggravated. Don't tell me what's happening out there.
Well-
and I fully take responsibility culturally. That's
no, but you've
okay.
elevated the game because, like,
Yeah.
now after having spent so many years as your friend, like learning what is and isn't authentic.
Yeah.
I have adopted some of your like, we can't eat there. That's not true. Truly Mexican.
They
food.
can't sit with us.
100%. Yeah.
Like,
Conversations
oh
make
my gosh,
Alexi
we were-
hungry and dusk.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
There's
It's
actually
so
I still
good.
remember. I don't know if it's still true. I hope not, but I still remember there's a American Canadian whatever village in Japan, and they thought that poutine was American. And I was so offended when I went. I was like, "What do you mean? It's American? It's not American, guys."
Can you post some authentic Mexican food? We just had some authentic Mexican food this morning.
Oh my God.
We had barbacoa for brunch, which is a slow cooked big hunk of beef.
It was so good.
Yeah,
Go-
and basically what you do is you get like a beef chuck, or in this case we got a beef tongue.
It's delicious.
Same. Or you can get cheek or some fatty piece of beef, and you put in the slow cooker, cover it with water, and put like maybe like a half, slice an onion in half, chuck it in there, put 2 or 3 bay leaves, and like a whole head of garlic sliced right in half the wide way so that the cloves are exposed. Chuck it in there, let it slow cook all night, and in the morning you just like, what is this called?
Shred.
You shred
You
it,
shred it.
and then you eat it with corn tortillas with
Like,
the
you
juice.
really don't need to add more. It's so good on its own.
Yeah, and then just like chopped red onion, chopped cilantro. That's barbacoa. You got it.
It's
Cannot get
so
any more
good.
authentic than that. It was delicious.
Oh my God. So
Yeah,
Annie posts in
because we have a neighbors chat.
We have a neighbors chat. She posts in the neighbors chat, "Hey, I have 3 barbacoa tacos if anybody wants authentic Mexican food."
30 seconds later.
Less than 30 seconds later, because I just happen to have my phone in my hand and I see the thing, and I don't even get the whole message. I just see barbacoa tacos come over, and I was like, boom. Ironically enough, my dad had just arrived so that we can do some work, and I was like, okay, gotta go tacos. And he was like, what?
What?
And I was out the door and to Annie's door in like
walked
-4
in,
seconds.
She walked in here like Kramer from Seinfeld.
I was
with
like, knocked on the door and opened it. I was like, tacos?
rage in her eyes. Like, did you say tacos?
I love
And
it.
then I had one and it was divine. And then I took one back to my dad because like he needed to try it. Also, I felt bad for having just left him like 2 minutes after he arrived. And
It was for a good cause.
It was for a good cause. And so I gave him the one and he was like, "Oh, this is going to be really good. It smells really good." I'm like, "It is going to be good." And then he eats it, and then after he's done, he goes, "You should have ran faster."
You should have ran faster. Listen, if you ever do want to make barbacoa, it's one of the best lazy meals because you just set it in the
Set it and
crock
forget
pot
it,
the night before, and then in the morning turn it off and you got food.
And it makes
That
a
sounds
lot.
great.
It makes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could eat it over rice. You could eat it in a tortilla. You could
Yeah.
make burritos. You could do a lot of things with it. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a versatile ingredient, but it's also amazing on its own.
We didn't do
No salt though. Do not put salt in there. It like disintegrates the meat.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So cook it without the salt, and then
let it
when
render in its own fat.
once you're about to eat it, then you put some salt sprinkled at the top. Yeah. Hot tip.
We didn't do anything special yesterday, but we did lamb stew. And we didn't know what sauce to put, so Matt literally just went
okay.
and he got all the dehydrated, I don't know if you remember this, but at some point we got dehydrated peppers from like a
Yes.
store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
And they
yeah.
were so
yeah.
good. So he had like a few left of everything, and he just chopped everything in there. Like he made like a
puree.
Hydrated them, and then we did a puree. And oh my god!
Yeah.
Because it takes the gaminess away from the lamb.
Yeah,
just
lamb is
enough,
so tricky for me.
Yeah, because like lamb, it's either because we did a stew like a few months ago, and it was so gamey. It actually didn't taste. Curd perspectives.
Yes, curd perspectives.
It wasn't as good, but this one. Oh my god, with the hot peppers, and it wasn't as spicy as I expected.
What kind of lamb was it? Like little T-bones?
It was Costco. We got the I think it's a shoulder. It's like a huge ass piece.
Oh,
it's like this big.
like a stewing beef.
Yeah,
like a stewing meat,
and then he just like, and then you put it. It's delicious. It's I think it's the first time that we got a. So yeah, we just got a Costco membership, and we've gone. This is the second time I've gone. And
I freaking love Costco.
Holy crap, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Well, they do it. Okay, I found out recently that they lay out their stores intentionally.
Oh, 100%.
They put all of the really expensive stuff right at the front when you walk in.
That makes total sense.
So that everything after that
makes
feels
sense to me.
cheap by comparison, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the freaking jewelry with the diamond engagement rings that are, $7,000 are right there at the front.
But jokes on them, because that's the kind of stuff I have no interest in.
I walk right past it, get to the roast
That's
chicken.
literally, I'm going all the way to the end. Like last time we just went for protein. That's all we did. We just bought protein, which is like, it's great because we self-discipline, because even just protein was expensive.
Yeah, the amount of power of will that you need to walk through Costco to get to where you're going for
Never go when you're
is
hungry.
comparable to walking into the yarn store with only $50. Like, the way that my blood just
It's the same thing with IKEA, I find. But you know what? We got the membership, I shit you not, because I wanted the ice cream. The Costco ice cream, and I was like, I don't want to wait for somebody to tell me we're going to Costco. Let's just do it. And then we had been talking about
the cheese
about
in
it for
Costco.
like a year.
Excellent cheese selection
Yes!
at Costco.
Oh my god,
A couple of years ago, they had a cheese advent calendar at Costco.
Did you get it?
I didn't get it
This year.
This year,
Now
I
we
got
have
it.
an in.
Well, yeah, now you have an in.
If you see a cheese advent calendar,
I'll take one too.
you buy 3 of those.
Yeah, one for
Oh,
each
I
of
was
us.
like, I just, yeah,
And one
like
for Vanessa.
it's like now every time we go, we have to like pace ourselves. Not pace ourselves. It's not the right word. We have
Go
to
with a list.
like, yes, that's what I mean. Like, because if we just go from aisle to aisle, it's a game over, and it's like it's too expensive.
Yeah, no, you won't come out of there with the same financial liberty as you walked in.
So we got the MasterCard because I didn't have a MasterCard, so I was like, fuck it, we'll get them, and we're only using it for Costco.
because you only pay for with MasterCard, right?
or debit,
Okay.
right? But because I'd rather just MasterCard will only be used for Costco,
yeah.
that particular purchase. So we figured, that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, so that's where we got it was so cheap. Well, I mean, it's still it's still a lot, but like it's cheap compared because
for the volume of things
that I got, like it was. Oh my god, how much was it? I think it was $28 for that whole piece.
Dang. Yeah.
But we had to choose between the lamb and the beef, and the beef for the same amount was $40.
Costco is a very like Western experience only because
That's true.
I have visited my brother and some friends who live in Europe, and those fridges are not the same size.
Nope.
Their freezer is so small. Where are you gonna put that big hunk of meat from Costco?
I mean, here we're like Matt and me have been discussing about getting an extra freezer,
Chest freezer,
like a chest freezer for extra meat. This is not we don't need it, but we're like, why not? Like we could buy half a cow and just like chop it and because you could do that.
You could.
And then you have meat for the entire pretty much the entire year.
Every time you say the word meat, Bilbo's eyebrows go. What? Yeah, he's like, is
what?
it dinner time?
What?
He's currently baking in the sun. I don't know if you guys.
He's a little.
He's just baking. He's a little loaf of bread.
He's
He's a little
sausage.
He's literally a sausage in a blanket.
A pig's in a blanket.
Pig in a blanket.
Are
you pig in a blanket?
Oh, there. It's not the sausage in a blanket. It's pig in a blanket.
Pig in a
Blanket.
blanket. Every time Lex goes to
Mango
Costco,
smoothie.
they get mango smoothie.
Yeah, see,
and
my
every
partner's the
time
same. He gets a slice of pizza. I get the ice cream.
Hot dog.
Hot dog. Hot dog.
Ice cream. Ice
Oh my
cream.
gosh.
Ice cream.
Yo.
There's
That's all I
nothing
care
better,
about.
Like the $1 big old hot dog from Costco.
Yeah.
It's so
Did
good.
you? Was it
So
the? I think it was the owner of Costco who actually fought for years to keep the prices for all of that.
So the CEO,
the CEO
has
I
Because
thought
they
that
wanted
was
to
a myth.
change it.
No. So the current CEO of Costco has said that while he is tenured as a CEO, the price of the hot dog will never change.
Wow.
Will not change. It's a loss leader, right? This is a common marketing tactic where
Yeah, for sure,
one
for
thing
sure.
is priced really, really low, wherein the company actually loses money in producing and selling it.
Yeah, but
it
you're
is
gaining
meant to
everywhere
be
else.
a get people through the door kind
Yeah.
of thing.
And get me
So-
through the door, it does.
Well, I mean, like, I think the other reason why I chose Costco over anything else is because their response to what's happening in the world right now has been relatively positive compared
Yeah.
to other companies. So I
Oh.
figured, like, because they're much more, like, inclusion friendly. They have very, very good,
They kept the DEI practices.
yes, well, that's
and you know, and do you want to know what
And
they
they pay a living wage.
people a living wage?
exactly.
And
So
they have
and they
benefits.
have really good benefits.
Good benefits.
Good for
it's,
them, really.
And I believe it's Costco whose CEO has like just a slightly larger cubicle. He doesn't have an actual office. It's just a
Yes,
slightly
something
larger
like that.
cubicle, and I thought it was cute. So,
That's pretty funny, actually.
They are.
but
They're
yeah,
doing-
it's
they're
definitely.
doing
I
it
feel like IKEA
well.
and Costco are the two that if I go in there, and yarn stores, but like if I go in there, it's like a nightmare. It's
I will
want everything.
never forget
Can you
this IKEA
please
story.
pass the keyboard? I just want to get the logo out of Bilbo's face.
Oh, so we can see Bilbo?
So we can see him.
Yo, okay, funny story.
Well,
So
he's looking.
I've said before that my dad worked in foreign affairs for like the entirety of his career. So we got to know people from all around the world. Like 15, 20 years ago, the new... I can't remember if he was the consul general, but either way, somebody moved here to be part of the Swedish embassy, and he walked into the IKEA and was like, I'm a representative of Sweden, furnish my house. And they did.
Well, I mean,
They furnished the whole house.
that's awesome.
Yeah, for free. He didn't have to pay anything. Because he was, like, you know, part of the Swedish embassy.
Oh yeah, if he's like usually embassy.
I
they
didn't
don't.
know that was a benefit.
Yeah, if you can just prove you're Swedish and, like, representing the crown.
Because
then
the
I guess.
technically embassy, like if you live in an embassy or sorry, work in an embassy or you're part
Watch
of
me
that.
walk into the next Taco Bell and say, I'm a representative of the Mexican government. You gotta give me food for free. Drop my passport right
Could
there.
work. It could work. Anyway, funny story. Funny story. I don't know if
Yeah,
I'm
he's
technically allowed
adorable.
to say it, but oops, it's out there now, so.
Oops, you said it. What are they gonna do? Fire your dad? He's retired.
Yeah, and I'm sure the guy that did this also is probably retired, because this was a long time ago.
This is tepid tea.
Tepid tea.
This tea is so cold.
Yeah, I know, but it's like the normal.
No, what I'm sharing.
Oh, okay.
That
I
tea.
thought you meant that. So I was like, this one is like it's now. Well, I mean, I'm pretty much done.
Oh my
Wait.
god, guys, I can't wait. It's iced tea season soon.
What do you mean soon? It's iced tea
It's-
season
it's
all
all
year.
day.
Yeah, but like yesterday was the first like over 15-degree day we've had.
Oh,
Oh, it
yeah.
was so nice yesterday. Except
Okay.
for that, like it wasn't sunny, which was kind of annoying. But
Plans for the spring: get a bunch of iced coffee, a bunch of iced tea, and then just take it somewhere, sit outside, knit on my socks. This is not my socks. Knit on my sock project,
Yep.
just wherever I go.
Yep.
Carry my iced tea, my iced coffee with me. Sit down,
Yeah.
maybe on a bench, get some vitamin D. That's kind
I
of it.
have okay.
Yeah.
So before I moved, I had a balcony, and I would come home from work every day, and I'd sit on the balcony for like an hour, reading, knitting, something, just like soaking up the sun. I now have patio furniture that my mom very kindly repainted so that it looks nice and new, and I'm so looking forward for it to be warm enough where I can come home from work and just sit on my patio and
Knit
like
a couple
read
rows.
or knit or eat a
Yeah.
sandwich or have a cheeky little bev.
Cheeky
I
Bev.
can't wait. I'm so excited.
I'm just excited because next week my community garden opens up, and then I get to
The bees
plant
are back.
I get to plant my hands
I
on
was
dirt.
just using the honey that you gifted me.
Yay!
Yeah,
That's what I
I've been
made my
using it
iced tea
too.
with.
I'm so excited. Like, I can't wait for, I think it's their 15th season this year, which is really nice.
The bees are turning 15?
No, not the community garden.
Oh,
the
I thought
bees,
the
the
bees-
bees have been there for 4 years.
There's
I think?
hives. There's a couple of
Yeah,
hives.
there's 2 hives. I don't know if this year's going to be 2 hives, but if they're consistent, it's 2 hives. And yeah, like we plant, so literally they asked the community to just plant flowers, and boy did they deliver, because like now half your gardens are pretty much just flowers.
What kind of flowers do bees like in Canada?
Well, in
All
Canada,
of
they
them.
well, yes, but you want to prioritize wildflowers and you want to prioritize native flowers,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
because it'll produce better, well,
Pollen,
not better, but like it'll, like it'll help essentially with the taste and everything, because depending on what flower they feed off or what they feed off, the taste of the honey is going to change.
Like, have you ever seen lavender honey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that comes from, like, Provence, for example,
Yeah.
next to
Yeah.
all the lavender fields. It's purple, and it tastes like lavender.
Yeah.
So
Right?
It's very different.
The bees are all feeding off of just lavender versus
Yeah.
wildflower honey, which has a really beautiful, bright, earthy taste to it, because they're getting...
It's a mix.
But it's
Yeah.
if you go to any plant store, they like if you go for the seedlings, or sorry, the seed section, you'll actually see all the flowers that
pollinator
attract
friendly, yeah.
Butterflies, and it'll tell you, like, they even have some flowers that attract butterflies but will actually work against other types of pollinators or other types of bugs. So you'll have some that are really, really good for butterflies, but if you plant them, they'll actually protect your crop against other invaders. So that's the kind of stuff I'm into.
I think,
and I'm very much looking forward to it.
I think marigolds are good for that.
Yes, marigolds are very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know, in Spanish, marigolds are called cempasúchil? Cempasúchil. And that is like the most popular flower to use in Day of the Dead altars and decorations, because it's supposed to have some sort of stronger connection with the spiritual world. And I think there's something about the scent of marigolds that traditionally has been...
Say it again in Spanish.
Cempasúchil.
Cempasúchil. So in French, it's souci ou œillet d'Inde. Really?
Turkey?
No, as in India.
Oh.
Œillet d'Inde.
Oh, but I think if I
But
remember...
nobody-
I also heard turkey.
Nobody
I hear the
ever
apostrophe.
uses, like, the word I use is souci, or sorry, the word
Souci?
that I know, souci. Like, souci as in, like, it sounds weird because souci in
Marigolds
French also
grow in
means like
India.
concern, but
Do they?
Marigolds grow in India,
Okay.
yeah. They're used in a lot of like festivals and religious connotations as well.
That's so interesting.
But
It's gotta be the heavy scent.
Probably,
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
But
I don't know what the word would be in
like
English
I have
to
some
dub it.
every season because they're cheap, number one, but also they're very good at deterring other annoying pests.
Yeah.
So they're
So
very
if you
good for
want your
that.
tomatoes to not be eaten up, you put marigolds around them.
Yeah, because butterflies and bees will be attracted, but nothing else will. And it's the same thing with because I was saying butterflies, but it's butterflies and bees. They're kind of the same. But
They're into
you
the
actually
same
have
food.
They both
pretty
fly.
much
Both fly.
and yeah, like you'll have packs of seeds that are all types of different flowers.
Oh.
So you can just plant those, and you just don't know it's like a box of surprises, and like a bag of surprises, and then whatever comes out, you just know that it attracts butterflies and bees.
Do those actually grow?
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
I have
Okay.
some. Well, I had some, I should say. The
I'm
only
gonna
problem,
sprinkle some out here. See if
so
something comes out.
what the problem with, it's not a problem, but the thing to know about seeds is that it's kind of annoying because it depends on what kind of seed it is. It will depend, like the seed will tell you, like maybe it needs to be the depth to which it needs to be planted is different,
Yeah,
and how
the
much
seed
water
packet
it
will
needs.
say.
And then the thing is, what people don't really know is a lot of flowers bloom much later in the season. So you don't, like, if you plant them now, some of them won't come out or bloom until like July or August.
Oh.
So like you assume nothing's growing, but it's just takes a while to get there. Right? Some will grow super fast. Like I have some that grow like weeds, and then others that take the whole freaking season, and they're like, oh, one flower, yay.
But I guess you kind of want that, right? Because if they all grew at the same time and
Exactly.
they bloomed at the same time,
Exactly.
you'd have 1 week of
Yep.
beautiful colors and then
But it's
4 months of nothing.
to be fair, it's also the same with vegetables. You have vegetables that will
Right.
grow really fast, and you can like kind of start harvesting pretty quickly, and others like tomatoes, you can't plant that stuff until like June at least. It needs to be
Really
super
warm,
hot
yeah.
for you to start like thinking about it. And then you have kale, which grows from like
Non-stop.
April all the way to like November if it's not frosted yet. So like that thing's indestructible. Kale, it's like I have every season I get a huge ass tree. of like kale. I'm like, I don't know what to do with all this kale. Like, and it's tiny when I get it. It's just this big, and then by the time of the season, it's like this high.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm
That's
like,
a lot
okay,
of kale.
that's a lot of kale.
That's a lot
I
of
don't need that much kale, so I make kale chips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't need that much kale salad in my life. But
I
yeah,
love
I like
kale,
putting
though.
mine in soups.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah,
so good in
that's true.
soups.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it
there's this chicken
'Cause it keeps this
gnocchi
crunch.
one that I do, and I just put kale in it, and it's really nice instead of spinach.
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
for spinach.
The white bean and lemon soup with kale is really good.
but yeah, so that's what I'm.
Because it's so peppery. It's so nice.
I'm excited to start.
Me too. I'm excited for
I think I'm gonna
planty
actually
season to come
plant
in.
stuff on my balcony this year.
Do it. You have
Like,
such beautiful sunlight.
You do.
I
You get
think-
really good
yeah,
sun.
I think I might do like tomatoes in a pot, and obviously herbs. I did it last year, but I plant. My problem is I plant too much together, and then
Oh.
they just kill each other. Like they can.
Yeah,
like, they
you
compete.
unfortunately
yeah.
have to sacrifice a few of
So
them,
I think we're
right?
just gonna go for like the 4 or 5 that we use the most, because I always want variety, right? I'm like 20 different herbs, and then like I only use 2 of them.
Yeah, and then they just
So I think it might be better if I just like if we go for the ones that we use the most,
Yeah.
because like parsley,
5
cilantro, yeah.
minutes without talking food.
I mean, are we really that surprised?
no, nobody's surprised about this.
That's like
Come on, it's
One
like
of
But
the
I
uniting
will
factors of our
say we've
friendship.
been talking for over 2 hours and we still haven't done an inspiration.
oh my god.
That's
So I think
True.
that's a good thing we could do.
Yeah.
okay, yeah, let's do it.
Let's
Could
do
you
it.
please pass the machine?
The machine.
The
clacky-
pass the
clacky
device.
The clacky
Pass the
clacky?
clickety device. All right. I hope y'all are ready.
Yep.
Big breath. No. That was not necessary.
That felt shorter than normal.
It fell shorter than normal. Yeah, it's supposed to just be a little click-cling. All right. Do you want to get us started? What's inspiring
sure,
you today?
Actually, I'm gonna show you what's inspiring me because I bought it
I have
last
stuff
week,
too.
and I was like, "It's so." What's inspiring me this week is actually all the accessories that you
Ooh.
buy.
all the notions.
So all the notions, yes, like the little. It doesn't matter what it is, but for me this year, it's definitely needle stoppers because I got a lot of them, and I'm so excited. So I
Nice.
got 3 types. Look at these little things. They're little mushrooms.
oh my god, they're little houses.
They're little
mushy
okay.
houses.
I'm trying not to scream.
They're
Don't
like
wake
little
the pond.
mushrooms, and I'm like, so freaking obsessed with these things.
Are you kidding me
Right?
right now?
Put them over Annie's face to make them in camera.
Oh my god!
Cover up our faces.
There's more.
That is
And
so
then I got
cute.
these because I could not. It's How to Train Your Dragon.
Toothless!
And
Light Fury and a Light Fury.
Oh my
God, I have to rewatch that movie before the
What a
Wait,
great
wait.
movie.
cover our faces. Cover our faces there.
There we go.
Oh,
Oh.
my
Look at those little faces.
God.
I have to. Okay, the live action coming out. I'm actually excited.
I know.
Me
I
too.
know. We're gonna watch it.
Oh,
And the fact
100%.
that Gerard
Okay.
Butler is the dad both in the animated
Yep.
and in the live
When-
action.
Really? I didn't
commits
even know
to
that.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He
Okay.
was the voice, and now he's gonna be the voice and the
actor.
actor. Yeah.
Are you ready for the last one?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay. Listen.
Darth Vader.
It's so cute.
I couldn't. I was like, oh my god. So all of these are available, and way more. I just
Where'd you
bought
get them
3
from?
From Leyland Biscuit.
Oh, that's
They have
so
an
cute.
array. Like they have at least like 20 different kinds.
So
You want to know something funny?
Did you also buy some?
No, I'm testing a pair of socks that's inspired by Darth Vader.
Look at him. See it fits. Oh no, wait. There we go.
Hold on, I'm gonna hold them closer.
So I'll probably talk about these after an inspiration is done, but these are the More Machine Than Man socks by Marie-Elise Duval.
What a coinky dink!
I'm test knitting them for her May the 4th pattern launch that she does every year.
I love that.
And so you have Darth
There
needle
you go. What a
stoppers and I have Darth
coincidence.
socks.
No, but so this is what's inspiring me this week. It's all the little like
I love it.
what brings you joy, like because it's like the accessorize to your project, right? Yes, the yarn is wonderful, and I love the needles, but it's kind of fun to like get the little like colory thing,
Yeah, the
whether it's
flair.
like a new, like a, whether it's a new tape or tape measure or these or what do you call it? stitch markers. Like, it doesn't matter.
Stitch markers.
Right?
Oh,
Like,
I'm such a sucker for stitch markers.
I know, I have so many, I don't know what to do with them anymore.
I love them.
But yeah, so these are my, this is my inspirations.
I love them. Do you know what project you're going to put them on?
Well, these are on this one. I just took them off so you wouldn't
Okay.
see them. The other two are, right now, well, one of them was on this, but now I'm finished. So I'm actually debating between 3 projects to cast on.
Yeah.
So I might actually ask you your opinions on
Okay,
that
yeah,
afterwards.
yeah,
But
yeah.
let's do this first.
Okay.
Inspiration. So what about you?
Me, I'm currently re-inspired by crochet. It's happening. I've made a couple of hot girl summer crop tops that I'm hoping to write down recipes for and offer them.
Is this part of it? No.
That's part of it. Yeah, I was just about to get it. And I'm actually having a lot of fun with doing the math and stuff for garments that can be made to measure. So this is my starting of a little crochet, simple, what would you call this? Like a camisole. I'm going to put some straps here, and then I'm going to join in the back and go around and around. But essentially I'm playing with short rows and half double crochet, and
you put some darts in there.
I did put some darts in the middle, and then the darts are coming down kind of this way, like this. And then at the bottom, I'm adding some short rows to just reach the underboob section. And once I reach that, I'm gonna join in the round, and this is gonna stretch out quite a bit. But yeah, I'm just really pleased with how it's coming out.
I'm impressed you're doing it in black yarn too.
I know, that's impressive.
I know,
Black
that's why I'm holding it up
cotton
to the sun. But essentially, I wanted something that didn't have the increases just on the side, because then you end up with a flat piece of fabric, right? And by putting the increases in the middle, I've kind of attempted to recreate the shape of a human's chest.
Breasts.
Breasts.
You can say that on the internet.
Breasts.
Boobies.
So yeah, I'm really inspired by how it's shaping up. I think I'm just not crocheting as fast as my brain is having ideas.
Isn't that always the case?
But that's
with
a really
ADHD?
good problem to have. I've asked our friend Vanessa to help me make a sample of this, so I'm gonna meet up with her later this week to just talk about how it's going and see if we can make this into a pattern. But yeah, crochet is just one of those like really freeing art styles that allows you to think on your feet and switch directions and go, like change your mind over and over again.
So creative with
because
it.
you only ever have one live stitch. So if you want to rip back, you just literally rip it. So yeah, it's been really fun to just reconnect with crochet. That was the first thing that I learned to do when I was 6 was crochet. And I love the idea of making something that you just hold up to your body and you go until it fits you. So there's no need for you to cage yourself into a size that may or may not feel good. So yeah, I like that about crochet. You just make things to the size of your body.
Lexi has also offered to pattern test if you need.
That's so sweet. Yeah, I might ask you to do that for sure once we're a little bit closer to a garment that looks like a garment. But essentially, I don't think it's going to be categorized as a pattern. It'll be more like a
recipe,
a guideline, or a recipe, because I'm not going to give stitch counts and such. It'll be more like indications and instructions of how to measure yourself.
Yeah, like find this measurement on your body and make a chain to that length.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be a bit more of like a narrative instruction. So I wouldn't call it a pattern per se, but for sure I'll make sure that that we say right here how it's going. So yeah, that's been really fun. It's been, it's kind of been sparking a lot of like different parts of my brain that hadn't been sparking in a while.
That's awesome.
So I'm feeling really stimulated for sure.
What about you?
I am knit-inspired. So people have probably heard of the Doppio sweater.
Yeah.
It's pretty popular. I'd say it's probably up there with like the Love Note and the Ranunculus in terms of recognition on Ravelry and on knitting Instagram, such and such. Essentially, it's a raglan sweater that has 2 fingering weight yarns, and then a lace weight fuzzy yarn held together. That's what.
How do you spell it?
Doppio. It's by Anahí Knits. Anyway, there is a dyer who I've been purchasing from for a long time in the States, Explore Knits and Fibers. They're based in Colorado. Earlier in January, I let Vanessa talk me into purchasing a sweater quantity of their yarn.
Classic.
Specifically to join their Doppio knit-along that will be starting at the end of April. And so I...
Girl. Look at them colors.
I don't want to drop this. So, is there sunlight I can get into?
Right
there. Maybe not quite as much. So the bottom two are the fingering weight yarns. Mm-hmm. These are from Explore Knits and Fibers Iceland collection that came out, that had their pre-order in January. So this one is, and apologies to my friend Christiana for these horrible pronunciations, which I know I'm going to butcher.
How dare.
This one is Vantiokel. And this one, I can't actually remember. I need to look at the tag.
So
this looks precarious. I'm going to hold
one. Oh, thank you. And so this dark green one is... Nope, we're not even going to... It's a canyon that's in Iceland. There's a lot of letters in there. Anyway, so I know that fourth letter, the one that looks like a D, is actually a th sound. I know that much.
Fjätra Glufur.
No idea.
Fjätra Glufur.
And then this mohair is from, it's in there. Full Moon Fibers, which is a Canadian dye studio.
Oh, Full Moon!
And this is their willow colorway. So it's like this beautiful, like yellowy, but it's got pops of like the greeny blue in here, and it's dyed on a base that's like kind of similar to this one. So I bought this at Knit City. I want to say not at Knit City. I bought this like last year or the year before with the intention of making a Doppio sweater. And then I got the inspiration from the Iceland collection from Explore Knits and Fibers, and I was like, screw it! And then Vanessa was like in the back of my mind being like, do it.
Is the sweater going to be like...
one strand of each.
All held together at the
whole
same
thing,
time?
yeah. All held together. So
that's going to look so cool.
I'm a little nervous because this, when I wound it up, turned out to be a little bit more yellowy than I thought. So I need to make a swatch to see if this is in fact the right combination.
Okay.
There is a chance that I may end up swapping out the mohair for something else.
Yeah.
And then finding, maybe swapping out this colorway for something more yellow leaning instead of green blue. I don't know. We'll see.
There's thankfully never a shortage of mohair colors.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We are so lucky to live close to two mohair farms.
And a local yarn store is just around the corner. We're spoiled for choice. I also have a very nicely stocked stash, so I can pull something from stash as well. So I've been wanting to make the Doppio for a while, and I'm really knit-inspired by all the combinations that I'm seeing as part of this knit-along that people are posting, like, ooh, look at these ones, and ooh, look at those ones, and I'm doing a low-contrast one, and I'm doing a high-contrast one.
Now is the time.
Yeah, so I think this will be more high-contrast, because of this canyon one in the middle, but we'll see. It's going to be way too hot to wear it when it's done, because it's going to be so much wool. But it'll be ready to go, hopefully, for next fall.
Yay! That's so cute. Is it going to be full length?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have 2 more skeins of each, but I didn't wind all of them up because I was like, I'm not going to wind up 9 skeins of yarn right now when I don't even have a table to properly attach my ball winder to. I'm attaching it to my laptop stand right now.
Yeah.
So, can you tell I just moved?
We're starting a Kickstarter to get Callie a table.
Actually, I'm getting one from Carine. We just need to go to IKEA.
Yeah, that's
the only problem is I can't find my gift cards.
Oh, oops.
They're somewhere.
Is there any part of you that can pretend to be a Swedish government official so that we can go to IKEA and get it for free? I don't think
so. So I'll just take my gift cards that people very kindly gave me for Christmas, and when I find them.
When you find them.
I'll go looking for them. So that we can go to IKEA.
We have to be able to... There has to be a way for us to figure out how to fasten our... ball winders on another surface that's not a table, because not everybody has a dining
Well, I
table?
saw somebody do it with a door handle that I thought was really cool.
A door handle.
Yeah, I saw it was somebody who didn't have a table or didn't have the space, and I don't know how they did it. I forgot, but it's a
but
video,
you know what?
and they used the doorknob to actually do the whole.
I feel
thing.
like you could
Cool.
totally attach your yarn winder to the side of your door, like an open door. Attach it there, so that it's like sideways, sticking out.
And so you would
So you'd
wind it like this.
Yeah.
then.
That might work.
That might work.
'Cause
Although
right-
it'll be really annoying to not have the door move. You would have to put like 2 heavy books next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
or make
problem.
sure-
No, not a
We
yeah.
can find heavy
Yeah.
books.
I have many of those in my
Yeah.
house. I what I've been doing so far is I have a laptop stand that like sits beside my couch because I'm not much of a coffee table person.
Right.
And so I've put the winder on the laptop stand, which is like a U-shaped metal and glass thing, not super sturdy.
Oh.
And then I put the Swift on the floor
That
and
works.
I hold it with my foot and I stretch all the way out and then I wind over here and I like pull tension with my hand off the Swift because the Swift is on the floor.
So it's a workout.
It is. I was doing it earlier today actually, and
So you do work out.
I do work out. Look at these arm muscles. The only one that's actually this is literally all yarn winding. That's it. The other one, nothing. Just nothing. Yarn winding, nothing.
Nothing.
It's fine. It's good.
This is all from carrying Bilbo when he gets too tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I've pulled this yarn out. Now I'm going to start swatching. I was going to wait till I finished the section of my t-shirt, but no.
So I have 3 projects that are contenders for my next one, and I want you to help me.
Do you
choose
already have the
Yes.
yarn?
for all of them?
Ooh. So they'll all get made eventually. It's
So
just
they'll
which
all.
one's
It's
first.
just a matter of which one is the first. And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going for a summer vibe right now, obviously, because it's summer soon. So I'm
Well, the
either
sun
doing
is out.
the Edge Veil Tank,
Let me see.
which is this guy,
I've seen that
Ooh,
before.
yep.
Yes.
and I have the
that.
yarn. The Summer Sorrel, because this has been on my
Yeah.
list for
The
like
summer sorrel.
Jesus, 3 years at least.
I want to make that one at some point.
And then the Plumeria, which is actually the one I want.
See, I want to make that out of
Can I
Tencel. I want to make the Plumeria one out of Tencel because I think it would be the best beach cover up ever.
Are those bow ties?
Yes, yes, it is. Isn't it nice?
So cute. I feel like this one, out of the 3 that you showed us, the Plumeria by Wool and Pine is most your style. Like
Like, it just
I've
looks-
seen you wear tunics that
Yeah.
style before. It would be really great
You
if
have
you
to
could
show
have
the
a knit
people.
one.
Oh yeah, that's true. Let me just grab. So I think this is the one I'm going for.
That's the Plumeria by Wool and Pine.
So good.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it because this with like a nice pair of jeans or shorts.
Yeah. Oh, with shorts would be so nice.
Yeah, I think that's the winner.
I really like that the lace panel, the lace motif doesn't go all the way up.
Yes,
It's only
yeah.
at the bottom of the tunic and it flares out a little bit. I quite like that.
And I have it's fingering. I have so many options, both solid color or variegated.
It would look really good in
So-
like a baby blue.
I don't know what color it's gonna be, but I got a lot of colors.
Nice.
So I'm
Do you
just
think
gonna
you're
go,
gonna
I'm gonna
go
stash dive for that.
Do you think you're gonna go solid or variegated?
Honestly,
¿Por qué no los dos?
¿Por qué no los dos?
how do you do both? Or you mean
Make
like
2.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was gonna say like wait, what? No, yeah, I mean I could. But yeah, I think it'll just come down to how much yarn I have for each project.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
good
because this
point.
one, if I need like I don't know 5 skeins, and I only have 4. Well, I'll know that for because I have the only one I already have like the exact yarn for is this one
Okay.
because I bought the yarn from Alley Cat Yarns. It's red. It's ready to go.
Yes.
It's just that I got distracted by other stuff.
I have
Oh, that's
literally-
why you got that red yarn.
I have the
Okay.
exact same yarn that I've put aside to make a Tulsa tee.
Right? No,
Literally the
so
exact
so
same
it is
yarn.
it is a problem, but it's a
That's
good problem to have.
everybody
It's a
knows.
good
Once
problem
you
to have.
told
And now by the way, the Doppio is also on my list.
Yeah?
So now I'm like, damn it, maybe I should.
Join the cow! Join the cow! She's got the Dyer has a Discord that I'm a member of, and I think they're going to open a new thread there, and I just love jumping in cows, because I like to see what other people are doing. Even if I don't finish that in the timeline of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
It's like, I just like getting inspired by other
You
people.
are Snoopy, is what it is.
Snoopy?
Yeah, you like to snoop on other people's projects.
But is it snooping when they've posted it in a public forum with the intention of it being seen?
It's totally warranted snooping. And
Yeah,
I love
calling
that.
it market research.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just, yeah.
I also love snooping. I'm a big snoop. I love looking at what other people are making in the middle of them making it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of the Ravelry projects page.
Yep, same. Yep,
Love that. Because sometimes I'm not sure if I want to make that.
And it's really
project
nice
or
too,
not.
because you might see something and be like, ooh, that's really flattering. And then when you look through different projects and you see people who have body shapes similar to yours, you can be like, okay,
Ooh.
I maybe need to do a little bit of modification for this to fit my body.
Yeah.
Or, oh, maybe I should make it cropped instead of a full length thing. Or,
Yeah.
oh, this color
And
looks
you know
really
what?
good as a short sleeve as opposed to a long sleeve. Like,
More often than not, I do end up cropping the bodies of things. Because it turns out my torso is not as long as other people's torsos. So my hips flare out quite rapidly.
yeah.
Which I love, by the way. I do be blooming and voluptuous. But it does mean that regular length sweater bodies bunch up really weirdly
Yeah.
on me. And that's not super comfortable. So I often do have to crop it anyway.
Same.
Again, the Ravelry project page will show you that.
Yes.
Look for people with torsos about the same length as yours. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
We're approaching slowly. That's
We're-
weird. I can't believe
we're-
we've been talking for almost 3 hours. This is crazy.
Is it ever really that hard for us, though?
It's really not.
No.
It's really not. Do you have any plans? Like, oh, you're already swatching for the...
I'm swatching. I pulled it out and I looked at it and was like, so I'm swatching. Okay, here's the thing. If I don't like this color combo, our local yarn store has a sale on. And so if I can't find anything in my stash that would work,
Oh, that's true. They do have a sale
then I could potentially
on. Yep.
take advantage of the sale. Now, I really want this to work because I picked these colors, but it's sometimes really hard to be 100% certain
Yeah,
if your
and the
color
thing
choices
is,
are correct when you're buying them online. And you can't necessarily hold the yarn up to each other.
Exactly.
I also don't
That's
know
true.
how, like, these colors, so far, I've only done garter stitch, so I'm not 100% certain. So far, the colors look really good together, but I'm not certain I really want a high contrast marl. I'm like 2 garter stitch rows in, and I'm like, I don't think that's what I want.
Can I see it?
Because I've definitely become, over time, more of like a... So I have to do stockinette stitch. The body's in stockinette stitch, so I will eventually get there. I'm just doing like some foundation rows. But I'm not 100% certain if I like how different the yarns are. I think
like,
if I
the
had
contrast
like...
is too big.
I think if I had like, instead of a light, cream, if I had like maybe a lighter blue or another green, and it would be less
Yeah.
of a distinction, that would be more...
I mean,
I'd pull it out
yeah,
more.
because like these two are pretty much the same almost,
Yeah,
and
so
this
I'm-
one is very.
So I think
I say go a couple more rows.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to. But I just... This is why... Look, I don't normally swatch for size. I very rarely do.
But for color?
I do believe that you should be swatching for color, especially
I'm right there with you.
if you're going to be marling yarns, right, that are not the same color. Like, it's one thing if, like, for your sweater, for example, your mohair and your...
Oh, they're the same
it's
color.
the same color. So there's no question as to what color it'll be when
Dusty
it works
aqua.
out.
Oh, yeah.
But
It looks so good in
this
the
is
sun.
very different. So
Hi, install in the chat.
Hello.
What are we working on? Ali is swatching for the
Doppio
Doppio
sweater.
sweater. Just started a swatch.
Just started a swatch.
The fastest swatcher in the West, yes.
That she is.
The laziest
The
swatcher
laziest
is probably more
swatcher in the
accurate.
West. I'm working on my Vellicore sweater. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. And it's worked bottom up. So this is the bottom. I've already separated for the front panel. And now I'm on the ribbing for the top panel. And what
And
are you
I'm working
today?
on the Astrid sweater by Knitting for Olive, using Knitting for Olive yarn
Because
it's-
if you're
I mean, it
something
was right
is
there.
consistent. Yeah.
And my
It's
local yarn
so
store
cute.
happens to have a very big selection of olive knitting.
good?
want
or-
it.
Uh,
Biscuit or
yeah,
wabi?
biscuit. Like
Really?
they have a lot.
I didn't know they were going to be carrying
They have a lot.
That's good to know.
I love that knitting for olive is so prevalent now.
Yeah, I'm very happy about this. So I'm
look, commercial.
They even have this particular
yarns,
color. So if I'm missing, if I'm missing a skein of either the mohair or they have this color. I didn't think they did, but they do.
Do you find that knitting for olive is consistent across dye lots? Like,
well,
have you
so
bought
far
colors from different dye lots?
It's hard to tell because so far they've all been the same dye lot.
Okay, well,
but I can tell you that in what I've received in both projects I've made, I can say yes because the one I got as a gift had a sweater quantity, but they also had like separate skeins on the side.
Okay.
And they were like an exact replica.
Oh,
of
wow,
each other.
okay.
So I mean, it's not the same dye lot, but they looked like twins.
Identical.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Nice.
So they're pretty close if they're not identical, or at least close enough that you won't notice.
Yeah.
That's good to know because one of the things that I don't super like about knitting for olive, although it's kind of a positive and a negative, is that they sell in smaller amounts. Like the balls are smaller in weight.
Like 50 grams.
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
So you have to buy multiple balls to get to the
But I do appreciate
the
fact that I don't have to wind it.
I do like that a lot, but I was just wondering about the dye lot because it's happened to me before where like yarns that come dyed in a skein, even if they're commercially dyed, often there will be dye lot difference.
But I can tell you that I haven't noticed any right now. But again, like it's only one project, right? So it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
In this one, they're all the same dye lot, so I can't vouch for this color.
Well, that's cool.
But then what I could do is actually I can bring this to Leland Biscuit and hold it next
and
to...
just make sure...
Hold it next to the other ones just to kind of see.
Yeah, good point.
But no, they're variety. Like, they have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They have a lot of, like, the Leland Biscuit. They have a lot of different...
yeah, they have, like, 3 different in-house lines in addition to a whole bunch of...
Yeah, and they have a lot of, like, yarns from, like, local or, like, Quebec dyers. I forgot the name. One of them is Louise...
Yeah, those are their in-house lines. Louise Quebec.
Oh, yeah.
And Patrick.
Yeah,
those are their in-house lines.
That's their house line.
Okay, and then they have a lot of drops as well.
I love drops.
I love drops. Drops, my favorite, like, drops is like drops air.
Yeah, you've made a lot of stuff.
You've made some stuff with
but
drops air.
But it's so nice and fluffy.
Yeah.
I just want to hug it.
And you do.
That I do.
Am I going to pick up the side of this Velicor now that you guys have done it? Am I going to pick up the side of the
Eventually, yeah, to do the armholes.
To do the armholes? Okay.
Eventually.
Because I'm not really loving the...
Yeah, no, you'll pick it up.
Edge.
You'll
okay,
pick
good.
It up. Yeah,
Phew.
it'll be covered up. Yeah.
I just suddenly caught a glimpse of it and I'm like, that's not very good. It's kind of jagged.
That's okay.
That's okay. You'll be covered up.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to attempt Patty Lyon's speed swatch method. Yeah.
To make it in the round?
Make it in the round without actually knitting it in the round.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt it. I don't know if it'll work out, but I'm going to
attempt
it.
Did anybody buy the Patty Lyon's Knitting Bag of Tricks book?
You were looking for it.
I was looking for it. I didn't find
it.
No.
Oh, I thought Spaniel still had a copy.
They didn't. They said they would email me, and they didn't email me. The bookstore near my house.
The indie bookstore near. Oh, which also, by the way, friends, just as a heads up, April 26th is Indie Bookstore Day. So if you have plans to buy books in the next little bit, please wait until April 26th and go to your local independent bookstore.
Yeah.
Amazon, may Jeff Bezos never rest in peace, has decided that they are going to have their book day, like big book sale day, from April 23rd to April 28th.
Wow, look at that. Independent
Bookstore Day and the week before Christmas are the highest grossing weeks for independent bookstores globally. Full stop. So, the fact that Amazon has decided to do that, I personally think is despicable.
Yep.
No shade to people who shop from Amazon if they need to. They do have a monopoly and they have things that are cheap and accessible. And if that's where you get the stuff that you need, great, do it. But just please be cognizant that they are choosing to put their books on sale just a few days before Indie Bookstore Day. So if you,
that is so rude.
Yeah,
that's
so
it's
gross.
Rude.
Let's be real. Like it's gross.
Yeah.
Right, Bilbo? Isn't that just rude?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they're past the rude. I don't think they care.
Yeah, no. Jeff Bezos is...
They've
anyway,
proven they
but-
don't care about much. So.
But yeah, just a reminder, April 26th is not only Indie Bookstore Day, but also Local Yarn Store Day.
Yay!
Local yarn
So
store
what you're
day.
saying is we're going to
Patronize
be
your local
going to
yarn
Spaniels
store.
and Wabi Sabi. We're going to do a whole... Okay.
I mean, I was going to do it without anybody, but if you want to come with me, you're more than welcome
100% I'm
to.
going to go. Like, come on.
I'm curious. Are all the local bookshops and yarn shops in everyone's area named something so adorable
Yes.
as the ones in our
Yeah, they're so
vicinity?
cute.
Yeah. Like, there's one in Ottawa called Wool Time, but it's THYME, like the herb.
Like the herb, so cute. And the one close to us down the street that way
Wabi
is called
Sabi.
Wabi Sabi. So cute. And our bookstore.
Well,
the
there's
bookstore that's closest to us is
there's
called-
also
bookstore.
yarns you'll love, but
Oh,
you'll...
but you is like a EWE.
Like
Yeah.
a female sheep.
Like a female sheep that yarns you will love. And
It's
then the
just
bookstore
adorable.
is called the Spaniel's Tale. The
Spaniel
Spaniel's
Tale,
Tale.
yeah.
But not tail as in...
TAIL.
Tale as in a
T-A-L-E.
story. TALE.
Yeah.
It's so cute. I wonder if it's a requirement. Like, if...
Well,
Yes.
I mean, think of the person
For
who wants to
marketing
own. Like,
purposes,
of course,
yeah.
it's a requirement.
It's me, I'm the person.
I feel
I'm
like
the
it's the
person.
same vibe of the person who wants to like open a coffee
Wait,
shop.
is there already a combination coffee shop, bookshop, yarn shop?
Yes.
Where?
France has
You
one,
know what?
at
I
least.
think I saved it on Instagram because I saw it and was like, I
Let's
gotta go
go.
here. Is it? I think it's in like Denmark.
Let's go to Denmark.
France has one.
Hold on, I have
think
to
it's Les
hide
Trois
just in case.
Tricoteurs.
Okay, it's not. Just in case there's race spoilers. I can't look
Oh.
at my Instagram.
Do you want me to look at it?
Well, no, I have it saved in mine.
Okay,
but-
good. Okay, good. I want a coffee shop, bookshop, yarn store.
There's a I think France has one. Les Trois Tricoteurs. They have a. I think
Ah,
it's
Les
the
Trois
three.
Tricoteurs.
Yeah.
Isn't that in Japan?
No, that's in France.
That's in France.
Yeah.
Okay. What am I thinking about? The one that was in either Korea. I think it was Korea. Like a yarn cafe, where they had like pastries that looked like.
Oh, maybe that
Like
that sounds
crochet?
like what Japan would do, but yes.
Okay, maybe I didn't
They're
save
always
it,
so
but-
ahead on the cuteness levels.
Well, their cuteness level is on par. It's or better, I should say.
Did you find it, Ali? It's
Maybe I
okay.
didn't save it, but I know there is definitely like there are places out there that do exactly that. That do them all.
Yeah.
There was one in Seattle that was a tiny yarn shop / cafe.
Okay.
I wasn't able to visit when I was there in December because it was closed for the holidays, but it is a thing that exists. We won't be the first when we eventually get around to doing it.
Great. I just think, like, the world is running out of space. We barely have enough housing for people to live in. So we gotta start doubling up on our shops.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, you know what? We're going back. When you think about it, it's almost like going back to what it used to be, where it was like the general store.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where I grew up, in a very, very rural area of Quebec, like to the point where they had one shop, and it was a general store. So you went there for everything, like everything. And then for some reason we had a pizza shop next to it, which was really strange.
Oh.
And
I think a pizza shop in a small town is an excellent idea.
Yeah.
no, of course, but it was like general store, nothing else for miles.
And then
shop,
pizza.
and the funeral home, which was like so ominous.
Listen, we
Remember
gotta
that?
go
I
somewhere.
was like, why is there? Okay, anyway, but the point is that the idea was this was also the postal office. This was, like, if this was your pharmacy,
It
this
was
was
the
your grocery
everything.
store, this was your everything store. And we only lived there until I was 7, but that whole area, that's what it was, right?
Bye,
it was a
Bilbo.
one-stop shop. It was like a small version of a Walmart, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I forgot that it's 30 minutes past his dinner time. No wonder he's looking at me intently, about to call the manager. I'm sorry.
Mom, I'm so hungry. I might die.
He's going to
I'll be right back.
lose his mind.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry.
Mom, I'm so hungry. Mommy, please.
Look at him. He's like following. He knows what's coming.
Guys, I'm not feeling it.
You're not feeling it?
I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's okay. I'm not
It
gonna lie.
looks beautiful.
This is better than this. Like
It
this
looks-
looks a little bit more blended than here.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean because like here you can kind of see a little bit more.
It's a
of the-
beautiful combination. I just don't particularly like hyper marled.
So which
Like-
one would you change?
So I think what I would
The
do
dark.
is I'd probably take out the dark and swap it out for like maybe even just like a light blue, something more closer in tone.
Because the
Yeah.
other one is what? It's a light green.
It's like
Yeah, it's
very
light green.
slight light green, gray green.
But blue isn't it gonna?
Or
Clash a little
alternatively,
bit
I
with
could
this?
take out this and swap that out for a dark blue mohair. I wonder if
Or
that
something
would...
in between those two.
Because you know what, I have a dark green and I have a dark blue mohair in my stash, like pieces of. I might give them a try and see how I feel, but I'm not feeling this hyper marl.
Then don't do it, because then you're not gonna, especially if it's something you want to wear.
I don't particularly want to stand up to get closer to, but
Oh, I'm already standing up. Hold on. I also got a donut.
ooh,
that's
I need
true.
a donut. I also really have
Donuts!
to pee. We talked about pee earlier.
Okay. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right. People in the audience, tell us, is this too strong of a marl? Let's see the back.
Like it's beautiful. I don't know if I would reach for it in flavor in when faced with the other sweaters I have in my wardrobe that are almost all single color. I don't know if I would.
I personally like it,
Yeah.
but I'm not the one that's gonna wear it on their body. So
See, it's funny. I thought the
It's funny because in the sun
mohair
it
was
doesn't
gonna
look
be-
as bad
Yeah, in the sun it doesn't look quite as,
as
obvious.
marled. But yeah,
I'll take a photo and I'll post it on Instagram. Ironically enough, when I placed the order for the
What you
could
fingerprint
do-
yarns,
you could do a swatch with another combination.
That's
and
what I'm
then
gonna
just
do,
put
yeah.
them next to each other to
Yeah.
see which one looks
So-
do
better.
you want me to pass you your donut?
oh sure.
Same.
Which one do you want?
I figured I'm gonna go for the cassis, and then if you want, we can share the Easter one.
No, I'm good. My cousin's coming over in half an hour to make dinner, so.
Yeah, okay.
So you don't want a donut.
Of course I want a donut. Dessert first.
Here you go, Carine.
Thank you.
So, yeah, it is missing something with pizzazz. I think you're right. Yeah. I'm going to swatch with a couple different colors of mohair, see if that changes it up. But I have a feeling I'll probably end up taking out this darker colored one in favor of something lighter and making it slightly less of a, like, graphic marl. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe
you
if...
gotta do what you gotta do.
Maybe if it was like, if this one was like a light green as opposed to like a soft grayish.
What I think.
Monsieur,
buddy!
no. No.
Ooh.
Hello, off. Thank you.
Bilbo, sit please. Sit please.
Down.
That was a negative on the sit. Sit please. Good
There
boy,
he
stay.
is.
Has he already eaten?
Yep.
Wow.
Jesus, that is a fast.
I thought I ate fast.
Here's what I have to say about your
thank
moral.
you.
No, over there.
Your moral thing.
Not me. Thank
The
you.
thing is, the mohair that you've got has a lot of warm tone.
Yeah, and those are both
colors.
cool.
Yeah,
tones.
and
The
the other two
yellow,
are.
the brown. Excuse me, let me just sit back down. And the green that you have is kind of limey, a bit more warm. And the dark green that you have is very cool tone, very blue, very gray. So what I'm thinking is, if you got yourself a warmer green, which as I'm saying, I know is gonna be difficult to find. Bilbo, please.
You just ate, sir.
Then maybe the combination of the two tones wouldn't be as stark,
Yeah.
because then both of the solid fingering weight yarns would pull on a little bit of the mohair, and it wouldn't look out of place. I think the problem is that darker green is too cool.
It's overwhelming the other
Yeah.
two.
Yeah,
Or
there
the
is such
mohair
a
is
thing
too
as
yellow.
being too cool. Hi Jess, what are you working on? I'm currently working on this strawberry filled
Is it
donut.
good?
It's
Yeah.
so good. Thanks
Yeah.
for bringing these.
Yeah, thanks for grabbing donuts.
Cheers if you're having a snack in the middle of the afternoon. I hope that it's not. Let us know if the chewing sounds are too much.
Yes.
Afternoon?
Turn it off.
It's 5 p.m. We're officially in evening.
Oh, so this is an evening snack.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna lower the gain. There you go. So then you're not listening to us munching.
And if you're into that, you're welcome.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say the jam was on this?
Strawberry rhubarb.
Strawberry rhubarb. Delicious.
Cheesy Q delivers as it always does.
Oh my god, I popped in there on Tuesday night because they were still open and I had to go to the grocery store, so I walked right past. And I popped in just to see what they had. And they had a full tray of Boston creams.
Oh my god.
It was 5:30 at night. And then a full tray of Boston creams. For context, this is usually the donut that sells out first each day. And I bought 3 because obviously. And the guy was like, yeah, we just made too many. And I was like, that's not a problem. Like,
Yeah, I
that's
can
not
help you with
that's
that
not a
problem, sir.
So,
Also, get
There's no
yourself,
such thing as too many.
get yourself a partner that looks at you the way that Bilbo is currently looking at my donut.
again, you hit your head again.
Like the second time's fine.
Stupid printer.
Don't worry, I'll throw it in the trash.
You don't need to throw them in the trash.
Straight to jail.
Oh yeah, that hit the spot right there. Raspberry cassis is such a it grew on me because at first I was like, it's nice, but there's a lot of other ones I prefer. And this one I'm
Cassis
like,
is black currant, isn't it?
I think so.
Okay.
Cassis, yeah. I
Yeah.
think
it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
so. All right,
So-
my loves.
Yeah, this is pretty much the
Yeah.
I can
3-hour
believe it's
mark?
3 p.m.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Not 3.
It's been 3 hours.
It's been 3
It's
hours.
5 p.m. We've been streaming for 3 hours.
You're welcome.
I hope you like this extended edition of the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We thought it might be fun since it's a long weekend, long stream. And I quite liked going upwards of 1 hour.
Me too.
You know, I think like 1 hour is maybe not enough. 3 hours might be a little much. But we're thinking about consistently streaming for a little longer than just an hour.
Yeah.
So if you like that, please let us know. And also, let us know what you're working on. We, like I said, are snoops. And
Yep.
We wanna know
follow
everything.
you on
I
Ravelry.
think the term you're looking for is insatiably curious.
Yep.
So, yeah. It's
And
good.
creatively inclined.
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah. But I think... Well, I'm going to have to call it because my cousin's coming over in half an hour. My cousin's sleeping over tonight. I'm so excited.
That's so cute. Hi, Satch. I don't think Satch is watching.
Well, I mean, if she is right now, then it must be on her phone on the bus.
That's right.
But, yeah, since tomorrow is a holiday day for us here in Ottawa, she's got the day off. I've got the day off.
Why not?
She's busy doing her PhD. I overcommit myself to basically everything. So we don't get to spend as much time together as we normally do, even though we live in the same city. So it'll be nice to hang out with her tonight. I asked her what she wanted to do, and she said, and I quote, I want to make something, and I want to watch something.
She means food?
She means food, yeah. So
Okay.
I found a recipe. We've gone back and forth, and we've decided on, it's like beef meatballs in pitas, like stuffed in pitas with like all the trimmings. So that'll be really yummy. And then I asked her what she wanted to watch, and she said, don't know yet. So, TBD. And then she said she picked up nostalgia desserts, and I don't know what that means, and I'm really excited.
Actually, if you're looking for something interesting, or not interesting, like fun to watch,
Yeah.
have you seen on Netflix the new series called North of North?
No, I haven't yet.
so
That's true.
good!
I do want to
It's
watch
so
that.
good. It's the first episode
do
ends
want
on
to
such a
watch that.
like funny cliffhanger. Well, it's not a cliffhanger, but like such a funny note.
Yeah.
Like I loved it.
Yeah.
I'm very much into it.
Nice.
That and The Residents.
Oh,
we
don't do
we have the
procedurals.
last what?
I don't do procedurals.
What's that?
So like police procedurals,
Oh, okay.
lawyers.
Well, it's
all of those.
it's
No, don't do them.
Shondaland.
Yeah, no,
It's
don't
so
do them.
well done though.
I
Oh
do
my
like
God, I love it.
procedurals. I didn't know that that's what that was
They're called.
called, but I love
So yeah, that
some
one
police
I'm at the
content.
last episode and I want to know who done it. But it's like it's so hilarious. Like it's just like so much humor. It's Shonda, right? So there's a lot of humor sprinkled around.
It's Shonda
loved it.
Rhimes?
Yeah, it's Shonda Rhimes. It's
I
and the
love me some
detective
Shonda
is she's a
content.
bird watcher. And she's there's this, without giving too much away, there's this bird that she's looking for, like, everywhere. And then at some point, she's like, she has to leave. And then the second she leaves, the stupid bird shows up. And I was like, it's just like the whole thing is just
That is so classic.
beautiful, silly, adorable. Like, oh, I loved it. And the cast is fantastic. I was very
Is that what
impressed
you're
by
going to
it.
do for the rest of the day?
What, this or the...
The show?
Oh, no, I have to wait for Matt.
Aww.
So I have to wait. Yeah, I do. Otherwise,
No,
he's not going to...
you do. Listen, my friends, if you've committed to watching a
Yes,
show
yes.
with one person,
Yes,
you are
don't
not
be that
allowed.
person. Don't watch ahead. It's just not okay.
It's not okay for you to cheat on that person
So
by
what you're
watching
saying
ahead.
is the next time House of the Dragon comes out,
No,
I
you
have-
are allowed
No,
to
that's
watch it.
fine. You're like you're by yourself, right? Like it's like you're doing your thing. Like
You-
it's
What I'm saying is commit to your actually like commit to your promises. If you promise to watch it at the
like
same
I said,
time, watch it at the
like
same time.
me and my partner have been watching it every time he has a day off, right?
Yeah.
And we like stream like 2 or
This
3
only
episodes.
applies if you've said in advance that you're gonna watch it together.
Yeah.
But
Otherwise,
in our case, because I know that you like to watch ahead and then compare it with the book, and I like to ask you questions.
exactly. There's a duty in this one. You
Yeah.
kind of have to
I have to
watch
do
it
the
first,
research.
so we have to we can ask you 50,000 questions.
If you
afterwards.
actually were to not watch in advance, that'd be kind of cheating.
We would be
Because
lost.
you'd not be following through on your commitment.
And then we would be lost.
And then I would
the way
not
the
understand.
coin has flipped to suit your needs.
Yeah, exactly.
Hypocrisy, thy name is Anahí.
Don't shoot the messenger. hate the game, not the player.
But honestly, though, yeah, no, I highly recommend North of North.
Yeah,
it's
that's a good one. I wonder
it's
if she's
adorable.
seen it.
It's quirky. It's funny. It's touching. It's everything.
And it's all filmed up in...
Yes,
Nuremberg,
yes, it
I
is.
believe.
It's very like I'm enjoying it. So
I thought
far.
it was Iqaluit.
Is it?
Yeah, I
in
think it's all
Eco?
filmed up there.
Well, but that's what I mean. Like it's all filmed up there. It's
Up
it's
in
actually
Nunavut,
like I said, it's
For
very,
those who may not know, this is a show that's produced by CBC, so the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and it follows an Inuit community up in northern Canada, up in the territory of Nunavut, and just about what it's like to live in
Live, play,
yeah.
work.
It centers
play, and
around
work
one
in the North,
particular woman who essentially is,
Yeah.
without giving too much away, having a bit of an existential crisis at the beginning because of
Aren't we all?
like where she is and what her life where her life choices have led her, and it's very like the start is very like touching, but it's also insanely empowering to see what she chooses to do, and it's I'm
Okay, I gotta
it's
watch
worth
it immediately.
It's worth
Yeah,
it.
I wanna watch it.
It's worth
I've got to
it.
watch that.
But what I want to
immediately.
do more than that is go to the bathroom. So
Okay. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank
It's been
you.
lovely to hang out with you. Also with Bilbo here.
Yeah.
Again, I'm Anahí. This is Ali. And that's Carine. And we're the Purl Perspectives because we are all pearls and we have a lot of opinions.
so many.
So many.
So thank you so much for being here with us. And we will catch you 2 weeks from now with another stream.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.